I'm a rock star. Yeah,
Rockstar?
Ay, ay, ay. I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star.
Kita rockstar, kita buat saja gaya kita. Makin panas apinya sudah membara. Macam mana pun kau menempuh segala. Demi negara kau buat semua bangga. Step into my world, you know I'm always in my zone. You know I got my team, no I'm never alone. Bring out my best, buat yang terbaik. Jadi juara perlahan kita
Get on my way,
naik.
aku nak push, naik-naik jadi lebih bagus. Jadi hero, ku ada skill. Berapa banyak musuh aku dah kill. Ramai cuba mencapai, cause they envy me. Tiap game aku pasti jadi MVP. Easy.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar.
I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star. Tengok nanti siapa yang juara. Ni peluang kita bawa pulang piala. This is my game, this is my time. Menang semua, everything will be mine. Kalau jatuh kau pasti kembali. Bangun balik ku tegak berdiri. Kuatkanlah tenaga, ganjaran diperoleh. Ni kejohanan kita, Malaysia memang boleh. Rise up to the top, kita buat bersama. Semangat kita kuat di bawah satu bendera. Ay.
I'ma go hard for the win.
Win.
On the battlefield till the end. I'm trying to beat the greatest anyone has ever seen.
Stand by, I'm coming in for the win. I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar. I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar.
Ay. I'm a rock star. Yeah.
Rockstar?
Ay. I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star.
Kita rockstar, kita buat saja gaya kita. Makin panas apinya sudah membara. Macam mana pun kau menempuh segala. Demi negara kau buat semua bangga. Step into my world, you know I'm always in my zone. You know I got my team, no I'm never alone. Bring out my best, buat yang terbaik. Jadi juara perlahan kita
Get on my way,
naik.
aku nak push, naik-naik jadi lebih bagus. Jadi hero, ku ada skill. Berapa banyak Ramai cuba mencabar cause they envy me. Tiap game aku pasti jadi MVP. Easy.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar. Tengok nanti siapa yang juara. Ni peluang kita bawa pulang piala. This is my game, this is my time. Menang semua, everything will be mine. Kalau jatuh kau pasti kembali. Bangun balik ku tegak berdiri. Kuatkanlah tenaga, ganjaran diperoleh. Ni kejohanan kita, Malaysia memang boleh. Rise up to the top, kita buat bersama. Semangat kita kuat di bawah satu bendera. Ay.
I'ma go hard for the win.
Win.
On the battlefield till the end. I'm trying to beat the greatest anyone has ever seen.
Stand by, I'm coming in for the win. I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar. I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar.
I'm a rockstar. Yeah.
Rockstar?
Ay. I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar.
Kita rockstar, kita buat saja gaya kita. Makin panas apinya sudah membara. Macam mana pun ku menempuh segala. Demi negara ku buat semua bangga. Step into my world, you know I'm always in my zone. You know I got my team, no I'm never alone. Bring out my best, buat yang terbaik. Jadi juara perlahan kita
Get on my way,
naik.
aku nak push. Naik jadi lebih bagus. Jadi hero, ku ada skill. Berapa banyak musuh aku dah kill. Ramai cuba mencabar cause they envy me. Tiap game aku pasti jadi MVP. Easy.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar. Tengok nanti siapa yang juara. Ni peluang kita bawa pulang piala. This is my game, this is my time. Menang semua, everything will be mine. Kalau jatuh kau pasti kembali. Bangun balik ku tegak berdiri. Kuatkanlah tenaga, ganjaran diperoleh. Ni kejohanan kita, Malaysia memang boleh. Rise up to the top, kita buat bersama. Semangat kita kuat di bawah satu bendera.
I'ma go hard for the win. On the battlefield till the end. I'm trying to beat the greatest anyone has ever seen.
Stand by, I'm coming in for the win. I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star. I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star.
I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star. Ini kejohanan kita.
Assalamualaikum dan selamat datang ke MPL Malaysia musim yang ke-9. Saya Jas Suzuran sebagai pengacara anda untuk musim kali ini, untuk MPL kita pada kali ini. MPL Malaysia musim ke-9 dikuasai oleh Munton, dipersembahkan oleh McDelivery bersama dengan telefon pintar rasmi Samsung dan juga diraikan bersama dengan Nescafe. Terima kasih kepada penaja-penaja kita. Orang cakap kalau tak apa penaja-penaja kita ni mungkin tak lengkap kita punya acara pada kali ini. Macam saya juga, saya seorang kat sini memang tak lengkap. Dan hari ini kita akan ditemani oleh dua individu yang sangat kacak pun dia. Bergaya pun dia. Kita ada Lefel dan juga Gideon. Apa khabar?
Hey, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar. Okay, so first of all nak cakap yang best bila kita punya waiting lobby tu, dia punya lagu sedap, tapi in general I memang sangat-sangat happy ada dekat sini. Kita offline, show offline, kamera ada banyak, and nampak Gideon pun I rasa sangat happy.
Hey, honestly, I haven't gotten an introduction like that where I'm handsome and stylish all in the same line. Feels great, and honestly, Ja, it's so great to have you on board.
Actually kita ni merupakan kali pertama berjumpa. Sebab before ni saya asyik tengok je korang berdua. So akhirnya dapat berjumpa. So hi. Jadi nak tanya, yang Pak kena puji tadi tu suka tak?
Yang Pak kena puji tu suka, tapi jangan banyak sangat sebab takut nanti kalau baju dah tak muat dah.
Okey. Jadi macam ni. Okey, kita dah ada di season yang baru macam gini kan. Mungkin saya nak tanya satu soalan. Mungkin agak klise lah kan.
It's okay.
Untuk MPL Malaysia musim yang ke-9, saya nak tanya Gideon dan juga Lefel, apakah perasaan awak?
Honestly, I feel that it's great. You know, like Lefel mentioned, that we're at the offline stage. We've got a new show here with everybody on board, and most importantly, we've got a lot of teams with a lot of new lineups.
Yeah, and untuk I personally, sebab ramai orang tanya MPL Malaysia banyak same, different sikit-sikit. Tapi kali ni kita memang level up kau-kau. Offline, integrity naik dan sebagainya. This season, I memang sangat excited.
Dan mungkin untuk season kali ini pasti ada banyak kejutan-kejutan untuk mereka. Jadi, jom sama-sama kita lihat jadual perlawanan hari ini.
Ya, kalau kita tengok je,
Yep.
SMG lawan dengan Orange Esports, kemudian TODAK lawan dengan RSG. Personally, I nak tengok pasukan TODAK lawan dengan RSG sebab I punya opinion, setiap kali TODAK selepas dia punya World Championship, dia punya permulaan regular season macam slow sikit.
Tapi kalau kita tengok untuk pasukan TODAK, Ciko ambil keputusan untuk berehat.
Ya betul.
Rasanya boleh langgar tak TODAK tu?
Actually, I rasa still boleh sebab walaupun sekuat-kuat Ciku, I memang nak tengok macam mana Momo main. Sebab masa World Championship, Momo punya performance sangat-sangat hebat, betul tak Gideon?
True, but I feel like that's a boring opinion here because, I mean, TODAK, everybody knows TODAK. SMG versus Orange, come on! Previous champions up against the new Orange. I'm excited for that.
Jadi, saya pun tak sabar juga nak tengok perlawanan dia. Jadi, jom kita tengok untuk tim grup ini pula. Untuk grup A, kita ada tim SMG, Orange Esports, HOMEBOIS, SUHAZ Esports dan juga MLBB Esports. Untuk grup B kita ada TODAK, GEEK, Red Esports, RSG dan juga tim CARACAL. Okey Gideon, saya nak tanya awak dalam grup A dengan grup B, grup mana yang paling rancak, yang paling seru lah pada pendapat awak?
Honestly, I think that Group A is looking really exciting. And here's why. Because number one, MLBB Esports has been trying really hard to get into the MPL, and I'm excited to see how they play out. Same goes for the HOMEBOIS at a bit of a deficit. The new Orange Esports, and most importantly, the new team SMG with SUHAZ Esports. is going to be a banging group.
Ya, and kalau I nak tengok kat bahagian Group B, I boleh cakap semua team dia punya roster stacked. Semua ada star power untuk setiap team. TODAK kita tahu the entire lineup daripada M3, CARACAL, banyak key player yang sebelum ni daripada RSG. So I excited untuk tengok Group B punya lineup untuk semua team.
Actually kalau pada tanya saya, dulu saya nampak macam su punya rancak. Kalau tanya saya. Jadi sekarang ni jom kita tengok untuk team roster. Untuk team SMG, dah itu dia. Rafael.
Ya, team SMG dekat sini yang I memang nak highlightkan adalah kemasukan Lexia dan juga Panda, di mana Panda sebelum ni berada dengan team GEEK Fam, and Lexia star jungler. Ramai orang kenal this young player, and kenapa bagus masuk ke dalam team SMG sebab walaupun semua main dengan sangat bagus tapi semua orang target Sasa. Sekarang ada Lexia, you nak target siapa? Lexia ke Sasa?
Betul je, dia orang kepening lah kan?
Yeah, it could be one of those situations of a double threat, but we have seen, teams kind of struggle having too many star players, right? That's why I want to keep an eye on both, Subway and as well as Stormy. Interesting enough, Subway is going to be playing for jungle in with Lexia, and Stormy, who has to deal with someone like Zyme Sempoy, now playing in the roamer role.
Alright. Jadi untuk team roster pasukan Orange Esports,
personally, this is something that I think everybody is excited to see because, with Orange Esports, every season they have a new lineup. However, some of the remaining members, Min, Man, is still there. Isonic and as well as Valence, having being the core of the team, they have the addition of the collaboration with Team Hawk, and I'm excited to see whether they can actually gel together.
Ya, and kita juga kena cerita on players yang dah ada dekat Orange punya lineup, yang Link Eza ramai orang tahu, dan juga coach Sora Payung. Tapi Valence masih ada dekat sini, and kita berbual dekat behind the scenes di mana Valence ni cakap, I suka tim ni sebab senang untuk dia aturkan diorang punya strategi, macam mana diorang punya rotation dan sebagainya. So untuk Orange Esports, I rasa diorang still kuat. Walaupun tukar player banyak, but I rasa Orange Esports still boleh kekal dia punya momentum yang kuat third place last season.
boleh dikatakan senang untuk mereka dapatkan chemistry.
Yes, senang.
Jadi kita sama-sama kita nantikan sama ada tim-tim baru ni dapat mampukah untuk berikan kemenangan untuk pasukan beliau. Jadi saya nak bagi tahu lah, kalau kita nak nantikan perlawanan yang menarik, of course kita nak tengok perlawanan yang gempak-gempak, yang paling rancak, yang paling seru, right? Jadi sebenarnya ada lagi gempak kalau nak tahu.
Apa dia?
Cuba teka. Tak dapat teka kan? Dia lagi gempak kalau kita tengah tengok MPL musim baru ni. Ada pula McDonald kat sini. Jadi saya nak beritahu untuk MPL Rewards, jangan lupa untuk belanja RM50 di McDelivery dan dapatkan 6 ketul McNuggets percuma. Bukan itu saja, anda semua berpeluang untuk memenangi skin eksklusif MLBB dan pastikan anda semua menggunakan kod MPL Rewards.
Ya, again, I suka dia punya nugget, tapi I rasa sangat rugi sebab sebelum ni McDonald's still, McDelivery still sponsor kita orang punya previous season, and I still ingat kita order dalam berapa? Dalam RM70, RM80 lebih. Semua KPI dah set. MPL Reward tu tak letak. Aduh, miss out dia punya nugget semua.
Rugilah. But hey, not only that, they have the skin as well, which I'm excited for. You don't know what skin you're going to get, but every time they say exclusive skin, you know you're getting something good.
Oh, bila dah eksklusif pastinya eksklusif, right? Jadi sama-sama kita nantikanlah, right? So pastikan kita nak remind sekali lagi okay, untuk McDelivery tu pastikan masukkan kod MPL Rewards. Jadi sekarang kita tak payah buang masa, sama-sama kita saksikan upacara perasmian MPL Malaysia musim yang ke-9, pastinya akan lebih rancak dan gempak. Sama-sama kita nantikan. Let's go.
Setiap season baru adalah seperti satu peringatan, di mana saya akan fikir semula apakah objektif saya.
Kenapa saya pilih perjalanan ini? Adakah ia hanya kerana saya suka main game? Atau kerana nak membuktikan sesuatu?
Sebagai seorang pro player, apa gunanya kita kalau kita tidak dapat untuk menunjukkan diri kita sendiri?
Dengan peluang atau tidak?
Dengan nasib atau tidak?
Menang atau kalah? Kami pro.
It's our job to work hard and win.
Tetapi jangan lupa, we are more than just gamer.
Kami juga ada peranan lain seperti
Seorang kawan,
pengejar impian, seorang dewasa, budak, family, seorang veteran,
seorang yang tidak berputus asa,
seorang manusia
like you and me.
Assalamualaikum dan apa khabar tuan-tuan dan puan-puan. Sekarang ni musim yang baru, semangat yang baru dan juga azam yang baru. Selamat datang ke MPL Malaysia musim yang ke-9. Nama saya Jas Suzuran, bersama dengan saya hari ini kita ada Lefel yang merupakan pengacara anda untuk hari ini.
Terima kasih banyak Ja, and yes, musim kali ini ada banyak perbezaan dan juga banyak benda yang sama. Perbezaan yang pertama adalah dua pasukan baru, Team MLBB Esports dan juga Team CARACAL akan bertanding cuba untuk merampas takhta SMG selaku champion pada musim yang lepas. Tetapi yang masih kekal sama, kita ada 10 pasukan yang akan bertanding di pentas, tapi hanya seorang saja, satu tim saja yang boleh menjadi juara.
Jadi pasukan manakah yang bakal menjadi juara di MPL Malaysia musim ke-9? Saya pun tak tahu. Sama-sama kita nantikan. Sudah pastinya kejutan demi kejutan bakal berlaku untuk anda semua. Jadi sekarang ini, sebelum kita mulakan perlawanan kita yang pertama pada hari ini, mari kita jemput Head Marshal Han Siong dan kedua-dua tim pasukan dari tim SMG dan juga Orange Esports untuk sesi coin toss.
Ya, dan dekat sini kita akan melakukan sesi coin toss secara public, secara terbuka untuk kekalkan integriti MPL. Kita ada wakil daripada Orange Esports dan juga Sasa daripada Team SMG, di mana Orange Esports mereka memilih Tails dan Team SMG mereka memilih Heads. Dan sekarang ni Han Siong dan nampak gayanya result dia adalah Tails, dan Team Orange Esports memilih untuk menjadi first pick dalam perlawanan ini.
Terima kasih Head Marshal kita Han Siong dan juga kedua-dua kapten pasukan. Jadi bila kita cerita pasal draft pick, alright, first pick ataupun second pick, masing-masing ada kelebihan masing-masing. Kita tak tahu macam mana, betul?
Ya, dan ia adalah penting kerana ini adalah perlawanan pertama dekat dalam MPL. Jadi kita akan tengok hero apa yang akan diprioritaskan sebagai ban dan hero apa yang akan diprioritaskan sebagai first pick.
Dan itu yang saya maksudkan tadi, kejutan demi kejutan. Sebab kita tak boleh nak baca tau Lefel untuk season pada kali ini. Mungkin ada benda-benda baru yang bakal menanti anda. Dan sekarang ini tanpa membuang masa, kita akan mulakan perlawanan pertama musim Liga Tim SMG menentang Orange Esports. Jadi para caster, take it away.
Thanks, Ja and LaFels. Thank you so much for opening things up with the opening ceremony, and not only that, the coin toss happening public live on our offline venue. If you're just watching this for the first time, this is the MPL MY Season 9. It's so great to have you along for this journey on the English broadcast. My name is GEEK. This is ICBaby12. But before we head on further, we have a big shout outs to give for the people who made this event possible. Starting off with our official gaming chair, Secret Lab, not to mention partners in esports, TikTok Live, Esports Charts, GEEK Network, and finally our co-organizer ESI for putting this competition together. But now it's time for the battle to begin shortly enough. Team SMG or Orange Esports, what are some of your thoughts here, ICBaby?
Wow, you know, to start things off the regular season here, we have two strong, arguably one of the strongest teams here in MPL MY to actually kick things off. You know, the former defending champion and also going up against the top 3 contender from the previous season. And I'm looking forward to see how they're going to be duking it out. But before that, we have a special code for you guys. You can redeem this right now up on the screen because the MPL MY Season 9 regular season is finally back and kicking off. To celebrate this, we are going to be giving you guys this special code. All you gotta do is just watch the stream, and it contains many exclusive awesome schemes such as the Great Inventor, the Floral Knight, the Skin Venoms, and also the Layla Saber skin.
Oh, really? The Layla Saber skin as well. All right. Looks like we've got a lot of exciting things in store for you guys, and hopefully you stick around and watch some more because there's so much to give away. You know, I've been thinking about this a lot. With a new season, new faces, brand new starts, do you think teams are going to have a nice slow roll for the early season? Because we've seen past seasons, like, teams take it nice and slow, kind of feel each other out before really going hard in the middle of it.
Okay, I can agree and disagree a little bit in this part here. I agree for the fact that, you know, teams will try and test things out. You know, it's regular season. They are trying to fix their inner tweaks in here and there. Okay. But when it comes to the first day, you want to make a statement. You know, in this case, SMG, they are the defending champions. They are pretty strong. They look pretty good during the M series. I feel like they've got a lot to prove, though.
I think I agree with you there. Here, both teams are looking to make a statement here today for the debut. So let's bring out the teams. It's going to be Orange Esports versus SMG.
Team SMG.
Esports.
And that's going to be both our teams, Team SMG up against Orange Esports in their very first debut match here at our offline venue. It's exciting to see how things are going to be playing out, but let's talk a little bit about the team so far. Team SMG, new brand, new jerseys, new logo. Any thoughts on that?
You know, I really like both jerseys as well. You know, Orange Esports is a little bit more expressive, but SMG is pretty clean. Look at this, it's slick, cool, and clean. But the starting roster coming in from this first match, it is going to be Stormy, Zyme Senpoi, Smooth, Lexia, as well as Sasa on the goal lane.
This is going to be really interesting here. I was expecting Panda to come in and play that roamer role, but it looks like we're going to see Stormy first taking over that mid lane mage role instead from Zyme Senpoi. And we know for a fact that Zyme Senpoi has been an absolute rock for the team.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised for this as well, considering based on his stats during from previous season, he was the third highest KDA during Season 8 with a 5.1 KD ratio, which is ridiculous considering that he's such a dominant mage and he's been consistent throughout, what, multiple seasons now in multiple teams. And I'm really surprised to see this integration come from SMG. Is this an experimental phase, or is this, you know, him trying to flex out his comfort zones?
I think it's a new perspective here, just like how Orange Esports has got their own new perspective. They're bringing on Waf, Isonic, Lola, Min, and as well as Man. They're having the good staples there. Isonic, we did see a little bit of his play last season, but now he's going to be taking over that Roman role with Min and Man taking care of the jungle as well as the EXP lane, respectively. So we need to keep an eye on the performance of their gold laner and mid laner, Waf and Lola.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. We don't exactly have details about Waf and Lola, but I know for a fact that Min and Man, they're definitely veterans coming to MPL now. They didn't exactly make it during Season 7, but Season 8, they had a really, really good run alongside with Ling Azer back then. But without Ling Azer this time, I'm a little bit worried for Orange Esports though.
See, that's the thing, right? It's about proving and seeing whether they can kind of fill in that shoes. But let's look at the focus player here, starting off with Team SMG. Lexia being the new acquisition coming in from Team SMG, giving that double spearhead in, you know, Sasa and Lexia, and looking at their main attributes, micro, macro, just maxed out on those stats.
Dude, where do they get these stats, man? I believe like Moonton, they have like a dedicated team trying to calculate every single player's stats in this regards, and I'm not surprised. Lexia's pretty high, considering that he is also a former champion here.
Absolutely. I mean, Lexia knows what he is doing. He's definitely being considered one of the better junglers here at the MPL. And coming back to your point about where do we get these stats from, see, we have this dedicated team here at Moonton who does the analysis and crunches the numbers and experimentation to get you the correct attributes here today. Most importantly, let's also keep in mind that his versatility isn't exactly maxed out, because the jungle role, there's only a certain amount of heroes you can play. But when it comes to marksmen and as well as assassins, he can kind of do a little of both.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And on top of it all here, the aggression chart here, Lexia, it's pretty clear that Lexia has been very objective driven as well. But I'm a little bit curious here, how well will he fit into this current meta, considering that there has been a lot of shift in towards the patches as well. Here, we based on his comfort picks here, we have Hayabusa, we have Roger, we have Ling, we have the Ling as well as the Benedetta, which is kind of off-ish meta still. So I'm a little bit curious here, is he going to bring something new, such as maybe the Helker, or maybe even bringing back the Karina despite the nerfs here?
Well, true. There are a number of questions when it comes down to meta junglers as of right now, but I think what we know for certain is that there are two very clear types, the assassin type junglers, and we also have the marksman type junglers. But we cannot forget that there are fighter style junglers.
Yes.
But I feel like they kind of lean more towards that assassin type, most like to take killing spree. They don't really want to go for the traditional, you know, festival of blood.
Agree. But now, their opponents here, Orange Esports, we have Isonic stats right here, pretty well balanced throughout his entirety of his attributes as well. He did play the marksman role and as well as mage roles during the previous season. We had the Nathan, we have the Kimi, we have the Lunox, as well as 1-1. all these heroes, I'm not gonna lie, not exactly meta-ish as of yet. I'm not exactly sure how well these heroes are gonna be fitting in the current meta, but what I do know is that Orange Esports, they were one of the teams from the previous season that played a lot of fighter role junglers. Do you think this is going to be the case? Is iSonic going to be feeling that role?
I feel like iSonic, based on what we're seeing here so far, on his previous season, yes, we did see him play 1 or 2 mages at the time, but the majority of his role was on the marksman. So things like Kimmy, the Wan, and arguably the Natan, which is a hybrid of that mage and marksman role, it really does make sense. And we can see that by the main attributes, it really fits his play style. His overall macro style is to play with the team. He's not looking for those easy 1v1s like Lexia, and that's why his micro is a little bit lower.
And I'm looking forward to see what kind of drops they are going to be playing as well, considering that, you know, Orange Esports was one of the pioneers when it comes to cheesy strats coming from the previous season as well. Fighter jungle, you know, with Lane, his Alucard was a force to be reckoned with throughout the entire Season 8. Pretty much respected throughout the entirety as well. But now I'm a little bit curious here on what all the talents think about this matchup. It seems to me, whoa, okay.
Yep, a vast majority of us are going to be believing that Team SMG, and obviously because of their new acquisition and their overall record so far, they seem to be the favorites here. However, I'm not going to discredit Orange Esports just yet. I do think that Orange Esports as an organization is really good at scouting out players and, more importantly, integrating them well with the core members of their team. Whether or not it's going to work out within the first week, different story.
Now that you mention it, right? Track record-wise, previous seasons, every single time Orange Esports comes into its MPL, they bring a brand new, fresh roster, and they pretty much do well. Sometimes I wonder, is it their org or is it the players?
Well, it could be a bit of both, but now looking at the overall voting from the fans themselves, you at home believe that Team SMG has an overwhelming popularity in this matchup, especially since Orange Esports getting put together in such a short period of time isn't exactly the easiest, and I can understand the sentiment of the fans.
Yeah, I kind of understand where you're going from as well here. We've just received news like very recently, they had a little bit of changes here and there, but all things considered here, they're professionals, they've got to be ready when they're on call. But before that, we would like to shout out to our amazing sponsors.
It's gonna be Samsung. You want to play Mobile Legends Bang Bang using brand new smartphone with a sleek design? With the MPL Malaysia Season 9's official smartphone, Samsung, you can get awesome gaming experiences with the brand new Samsung Galaxy A52s 5G. Let me put some emphasis on that 5G here.
Did I hear it right? 5G? Really?
Yeah.
What?
You know what? In my time during M3, Singapore has already integrated 5G into their own networking system.
But that's Singapore.
Yeah, that's Singapore. It felt crazy. And the fact that they're bringing it here to Malaysia already, whew, that's a step up.
Yep, definitely. I'm looking forward to see it, try it out as well. If they actually sponsor us, you know, hinting, wink. But before that, we are going to be having share milestones for you guys watching at home. With 500 shares, we are going to be giving X amount of rewards. 800 shares, we are going to be giving this. And also 1,000 share milestone, we are also going to be giving this. But of course, we are going to be selecting lucky winners such as yourself. If we hit 500, we're choosing 5 winners. If we hit 800 shares, we're choosing 8 winners. And if there's 1,000 shares, we're choosing 10 of you guys out there.
Absolutely. And now this is the best time to start hitting that share button, especially since this is only going to be 2 best of 3s today. So you want to get those rewards easy, fast, quick, and efficient. Utilize the time you have right now. With 32 seconds on the clock, what are your thoughts about this? Team SMG versus OE, we've seen both of the lineups. Is it going to come down to the draft, or do you think just players alone, the power level Team SMG through the roof?
I think it's all about experimenting, but on track record-wise, I feel like SMG's gonna take Game 1. It's all up to Orange Esports to actually adapt to Game number 2. But what was really surprising for me was that they actually prioritized first pick first from Orange Esports, which is really weird considering that previous season, everyone was prioritizing on that second phase, you know, to kind of respond to the initial first picks.
That's actually a really good point out here, because now, coming into the draft, let's see whether Orange Esports understands the meta enough to take full advantage of this first pick on the blue side, kicking things off with the Selena ban. Immediately, Team SMG get rid of that Valentina. Don't want to see her touch the Land of Dawn.
Yeah, Valentina has been nerfed pretty much, but due to the fact that his ultimate is able to bring out so much value when it comes to taking this kind of team fights. So seeing it being banned out shows you that, you know, it is going to be respect here, heading towards Min. I believe Min to be playing in that role.
Yep, and I think in these situations, we have to keep in mind that they want to start pinching and penalizing some of the newer members here. It really depends on how badly they want this win, but so far, Glue getting banned out for the side of Team SMG to make Smooth's life a little easier is understandable, but I think Orange Esports, the overall drafting strategy is to try and punish Zaim Senpai if he does decide to go for those mage-style support roamers.
It seems like the trend is going to be continuing from the other tournaments as well, such as MDL MWI as well, where Glue, Eve, Lancelot has been, prioritized a lot. And it seems like there is a little bit of mixture coming into this opening draft where Glue has been kicked off. Despite the recent buffs, I'm really surprised to see this actually.
No, I'm not too surprised. I feel like Glue kind of works in tandem with Uranus previously, which is just a brick wall, but still provide enough of a threat to the backline. Now, Orange Esports now changing away. Instead of just supports, let's get rid of a proper mage.
Yeah, I think that teams are starting to just completely ignore supports now, considering that there has been a recent nerf on towards the favor as well, where supports were just overly powerful from previous patch. So seeing this, maybe, the Glue was the answer to that, to the substitute to a healing-ish meta, I guess, if you put it that way.
I feel like Glue does the opposite. They actually supplements people who actually play these enhanced type support mages. Like, you want to heal, Glue is going to slow down that fight so you can get your second, your third, your fourth resurgence of extra heals to make it work out. And now Fanny, finally, this is one of the junglers that I want to talk about here, because previously, Fanny receiving a couple of interesting changes have really brought her into the meta. She's still, purple buff dependent, but when she gets that, the impact is just so evident.
Okay, I know there was a little bit of buffs on those Fanny. He able to regenerate a little bit quicker on Fountain. For most heroes, that doesn't really matter that much, but considering the mobility that Fanny brings to the table, it does overall give it a little bit more presence in the early stage of the game. So, but what's really surprising for me is that they actually first phase ban Fanny, knowing that, throughout the history of the MPL, Fanny ban is usually targeted to specific players. So, I don't know, is it the meta? Can everyone play Fanny?
I feel like, especially when it comes down to Malaysians and when it comes down to junglers, if you talk to any jungler, they'll be like, yeah, I played Fanny before. I've got like 1,000 games somewhere in my history. I don't know which account. I probably played 2,000 games on multiple accounts, but now, with the very first pick coming in from Orange Esports, Esmeralda gets locked in.
Okay, seems like we are going to be seeing a little bit more standard here, a little bit more safe, considering that there is the Phoveus also in the pool as well. Even though despite the nerfs there, Phoveus is still something that people may or may not want to pick. But seems like SMG, they realize that they are going to prioritize on the Cho first. Seems to be a little bit of repeat from the previous season as well. Both Orange Esports as well as SMG, they do play their Chos.
Yeah, I feel like it's a staple. If you don't know how to play Cho, it's like you're playing a role which really needs you to have that versatility. And now SMG going to be locking in the Lancelot. Lexia is going to be very happy with his pick here, but they're also making the assumption that Orange Esports is most likely going to lean towards a marksman style type of jungler.
Okay, I've got a question now. Like, we've seen iSonic kind of play the Claude in the previous season.
Yep.
And Claude has recently been buffed up. So, what are your thoughts on this? Is Orange Esports going to take it? Or is any team going to pick the Natalia as well, despite the changes onto it?
Well, I mean, here's a couple. When you're looking at Claude, right? I think Claude, even previously when he wasn't buffed, he did have a place in the meta.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
He's so dependent on how much gold you can get, the raw mechanics, you have to kind of maintain his stacks. Now it's a little bit easier, and you get a little bit more reward for getting a good Blazing Duet, but it still doesn't change the fact that an assassin, the moment he gets on top of him, at the right time, he doesn't have a lot of escape mechanics other than his, sorry, I was thinking of Blazing Duet, his Battle Mirror image.
Okay, seems like Orange Esports, they are opting for something safe. Roger into the jungle, but I don't know. I like the idea if this was the previous season, previous meta, but I feel like Roger is super dependent on the killing spree, and now with the killing spree being nerfed a little bit, I'm worried. This is going to be very forced here coming from Orange Esports.
I don't know. I still feel that Roger is extremely relevant. He hasn't received too many changes, and his early game damage, the moment you're like below 50% HP, is still very evident. And especially with someone like Lancelot, the moment he's 50 HP, he has to save his abilities to dodge really powerful gap closers, like the Like and Pounce, for an example.
All right. But SMG, the response is going to be Sicilian. Seems like they are going to be using this mage as a backup plan towards the ultra late stage game. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to go. Is SMG going to play the late game, or are they going to go for a little bit more quick, knowing that Lixia has the tendency to kind of close up games as quick as they can?
Well, that's true.
As he can, sorry.
Yeah, that's true. And I think Orange Esports kind of understand that he wants to kind of like speed up that game, and they have some late game insurance with the Sicilian. However, Orange Esports, based on what they're showing in their lineup, I don't think Ruby's going into the EXP lane. She's most likely going to go as a roamer style support, and they also are banning out Edith as well, which is kind of giving me the idea that they don't want anybody on the side of SMG to kind of drag out fights.
I'm surprised that the Edith actually managed to make it in the second phase. You know, considering that it is kind of first pick-ish in pub games. But to see it actually in second phase, yeah, okay, I see it. But SMG, they still need the marksman. They need a little bit more aggression. Sasa has been known to play multiple heroes. Are they going to go back to comfort picks like Brody, or maybe even a Beatrix for Sasa?
Maybe not Beatrix. I feel like Clint. I think I still
going back to Clint?
Yeah,
Really?
I still feel like Clint is going to be his go-to. We'll see in a little bit here. Orange Esports, on the other hand, still has one more ban to go to wrap things up here. But I think SMG has the right idea. Ban out the Kagura, get rid of the Yve. So far, Orange Esports clearly don't have a mid laner. If Orange Esports bans another mid laner, it'd be a bit of a waste here. So Lolita could be the next ban. I like it.
Oh, you know, it's interesting, right? Like from our experience, we kind of saw a Lolita during the M series, but throughout the entire season 8, everyone kind of ignored the Lolita
until like M3.
Yeah, until like M3, I'm like, oh wow, it works. Okay, wait. It works, huh?
See, that's the thing about the meta, right? We're not only looking for things that are getting nerfed, but we're also looking for solutions to the things that are getting buffed. And Lolita was just kind of there, like literally untouched. And then finally, once all the other supports kind of sucked, you know, Lolita takes a bigger playing field. Now, with Lolita being banned, I'm assuming that Orange Esports wants to go with something along the lines of Kimmy in the mid lane, I think, possibly, or maybe even Beatrix, but we'll see right after Team SMG locks in Clint right there. Called it. I still got it, baby.
Comfort picks going for Sasa, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Lolita it might be an opening for the Kimmy pickup for Orange Esports. We did see Orange Esports kind of play the double marksman throughout the season 8 as well. So I wouldn't be surprised that they wanted to pick a Kimmy for themselves, considering that Orange Esports does play the double marksman composition. Even throughout the stats as well, early on, Isonic's feature, he does play the Kimmy. So maybe, you know, they just don't want to deal with a Lolita going up as a Kimmy. If they go for it.
I think that Orange Esports not only wants to get rid of Lolita, because generally Ruby is going to have a tough time like trying to get in, especially once you know, you get stunned, you're kind of stuck there, you can't really do much about the situation. And more importantly, just to block damage. There we go, the Beatrix. Projectiles, projectiles, projectiles is something that the Guardian's Bulwark from Lolita can block. Farsa, a great pickup for the side of Orange Esports. They don't get the Yi, but Farsa just brings that much more oomph to the team. However, let's keep in mind, this is Lexia playing the Lancelot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Lexia is going to be able to catch the Farsa really, really nice. But I like the Beatrix pickup. You know, the Lolita ban in response to it, just to deal with it. But SMG going for the Uranus. All right, so looks like it's back to Season 6, Gideon.
Yeah, it's back to...
Wet noodle fights on the EXP lane. Yeah.
It's very evident here.
You know, for those guys watching, if you guys are here since Season 6, 7, and 8, and now 9, we appreciate you. If you know the inside joke of the wet noodle, that's Gideon right here.
Yeah, man.
He hates this.
It's a really boring matchup to watch Esmeralda fight against Uranus, because eventually Uranus is not going to receive too much damage unless Esmeralda decides to go for like a full magic damage build to try and cut through. And even then, there's no guarantee. But it's time to walk through the tunnel. It is time to get the first match of today off the ground. Team SMG versus Orange Esports, here to show who's boss and show them who is going to take that first win of the season. The lineups are ready. You know who's about to battle here. Is it going to be Lexia and Sasa that breaks it out for Team SMG, or will Orange Esports hold strong? Let's get right into the land of Dawn.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the first match of the regular seasons here. It is going to be SMG versus Orange Esports. And to kick things off here on the blue side, Orange Esports, this is going to be the Ruby tank, as Gideon did mention as well, going up against Zion Senpai. First, I would say it's my first time seeing him on the roamer role officially in MPL.
Yeah, man. I mean, you could see from the bans coming out for Orange Esports that they wanted to target Zion Senpai for sure. I mean, you got to take away what he's comfortable with, the Selena, the Matilda, all of which he played prior to this. But so far, I think we need to keep in mind, I want to see how Team SMG kind of works together here. And, ooh, Smooth already winning out his trades against Waff.
Well, you talked about wet noodle. That doesn't look like a wet noodle to me. You know, Uranus hits pretty hard.
Yeah, for now, let's see how this game continues to progress. And there we have it, boys and girls watching the MPL. You know it, you love it. It's going to be the traditional pause.
Okay, I think this pause is very, very much necessary. I'm not exactly sure whether or not it's from Orange or is it from Team SMG.
Yeah.
But seeing how the lanes went down bottom from Esmeralda, he's got to call a pause and tell his team that, hey, something's not right. Do not come down. I kind of messed up.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I think the most important thing is that even though Esmeralda can actually come back into the lane by just, you know, slowly building up the shield, healing off of it, yada, 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 doing Esmeralda things, as people would like to say, he doesn't have that control. He doesn't have that level of control that Smooth has right now. So the bottom side is pretty much obsolete for at least the very first few levels.
Yeah, at least until he hits his 4, maybe even the first turtle, probably around there.
Oh, I didn't see where the turtle spawn was.
That's why it's a little bit worrisome there. I think this pause, it might not be a technical one. It's more like a very, I would say, to kind of slow things down for them to actually plan out what to do next for either teams. And I feel like Orange Esports, they definitely need that, considering that the Esmeralda took so much damage.
No, I think it's too early to say.
Yeah,
like, technical pauses are technical pauses. There's no tactical pauses here at the MPL. The game must go on until it is over or somebody's crystal breaks. Now, speaking of which, you can see Sasa in his very, you know, traditionally stoic look. He feels very cold every time he's up on stage. It's like it's only business here.
Dude, he's got ice in his veins, bro. You know, he's also said it. You know, we are here to play to win, not for business, not for chilling, not for having fun. We are here to only to win.
He's pushing P, man. He's pushing P.
What? P?
Never heard of it?
No.
No, don't worry. Then think of it as pushing for the wins. You know, pushing for W's.
How do you push again? How far do you push?
As far as you can go. As far as you could possibly go. You got to do whatever it takes to kind of break through the initial resistance and get to that end goal.
So basically going in deep.
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
Now, more importantly, what do you think about the role so far? Like, we haven't seen too much of the gameplay just yet, but what are some expectations, especially for like someone like Zion Senpai, who's transitioning into a very new roamer role?
Personally, if you're talking about the core roles coming from both teams, I don't think they have much that issue. But for me, the biggest issue would be Zion Senpai trying to set up the plays for the team, you know? Like, knowing the SMG's past records here, it's always been Sasa that kind of brings the tempo. Or in this case, their predecessors, right? If you talk about Season 7, we talk about Season 8, they had Expedia, they had Nova as well, kind of opening things up. That has been, you know, something that caught my eye and attention as well for SMG. They always rely on tanks to kind of set things up. And then later on, Sasa will just carry the game. In this situation, can Zion Senpai do the same? That's going to be my question.
I think he communicates well with the team. I think when it comes down to communication, it's in terms of like communicating how he wants to set up the play. Yes, he does that very, very well. Executing the play, on the other hand, that's where it gets a little bit iffy. And I'm not entirely sure whether it's going to be possible or not. Bringing it over to Orange Esports, even they have their own little interesting players. Like, I'm excited to see how both Waff and as well as Lola playing, you know, two separate lanes here in the gold and as well, Waff playing in the gold and Lola playing in the EXP lane. Can they hold their own?
I believe that's going to be their first time coming here on MPL stage, correct?
Yeah. I'm sure that they're a little nervous, especially playing like, you know, before this, we're playing offline. This is not online. We're at the comfort of their own gaming house.
But that's the thing. It's always been it has always been offline until a certain pandemic/endemic happened.
I mean, we can talk about it. You know, it's not like it's a
I don't know. I don't want to talk about it because it's very annoying.
It's a little too real.
Yeah, it's too real. Later on, we'll talk about it because we're going to be talking about it later on, so we got to keep it secret now.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Even though everybody knows it, but yeah.
I think at the end of the day, I need this match to keep going on. I want to see how they're going to perform. And, more and more I look at it, I keep remembering how, like, Smooth has been kind of memed upon for, like, a lot of seasons until he wins an entire season and then goes to M3 to try and prove himself again. So let's see whether he can kind of maintain that performance.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up as well, but seems to me, we're going to leave that to another day or another time. But as of yet, the match will continue. Zyme Senpai looking to invade. And it seems like Orange Esports, they're not responding to it. They're just completely ignoring the orange buff. And iSonic is going to rotate up top instead.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for them to actually take it, and I don't think they have enough damage with the Uranus or even with the Cho to steal away the orange buff for now. But as we can see, Lexia happily farming here, working towards Sasa's lane, and obviously forcing Lola out.
Yep, speaking of Turtle, we did mention as well, it seems like it is going to be on the bottom side, but however, Orange Esports, they're going to have the Esmeralda cut the lanes alongside with Smooth also mirroring coming from SMG, but iSonic is going to be in some trouble. Zyme Senpai getting a little bit annoying, but seems like he is going to be able to secure his buff instead.
But so far, based on what we're seeing, Lexia does have the more efficient pathing. He is a camp up on him, and we can see that Esmeralda is trying to interrupt it to kind of even the odds. But now WAF in trouble. He's trying to make it out of there. Smooth clips him with his first ability. WAF is trying to get on out, but the shield is not going to be enough. Zyme Senpai makes it out, buys just enough time, but Smooth sustains very, very well. Hasn't even used his ult as well.
Yeah, that was a really, really nice takedown coming from SMG as well. Immediately realizing the threat there and punishing for it. Esmeralda gets caught up pretty hard, but Stormy is a little bit too close. However, the first blood bounty is available.
So far, one kill going over Team SMG. Orange Esports just taking onto the back foot. However, the damage being dished out by Orange Esports is able to deter Team SMG from sitting on top of the turtle, at least.
Yeah, but who's going to get it here? It is still in Orange Esports' favor. Smooth is going to try and harass it while giving a little bit info towards Lexia. Lexia actually getting caught up from the back lines. Meanwhile, the rest of SMG going for the dive towards the back lines. Zyme Senpai getting caught out and open as well. He might actually fall. He sidesteps his way through, but eventually gets taken down. Meanwhile, Orange Esports, they're still trying to fight for the turtle, but Team SMG has gotten full control and only sacrifices Zyme Senpai.
Ooh, that's some great trades here. Zyme Senpai creating the space needed for his team to actually get on top of the turtle and took a lot of the damage from the feathered airstrike from Man to make that difference. Great turtle slaying coming in for TSMG.
Yeah, and on top of it all, they've also got iSonic in the trade-off, which is crazy. A tank for a jungler? I'll take that any time of the day.
Yeah, let's see how they play out towards this top side here. More importantly, Zyme Senpai might be setting up for a potential dive on Beatrix.
Yeah, and top side, it seems like Orange Esports, they're a little bit slow to respond. Team SMG already in a setup position. Zyme Senpai, they are going to catch Man as well. Can he get the way of the dragon? Man actually getting bursted down in the nick of time, and that's going to be SMG getting another kill.
That's great, that's great. They got the mid laner and not a support, some very high value targets here as they now will fight for the curve ult. Zyme Senpai continuing to create that space that we were talking about and allowing the rest of the team to play their own individual lanes untouched. Like Sasa, he's having the time of his life. He should be getting harassed by Lola, but Lola is too afraid to walk up thanks to Zyme Senpai and Stormy just hovering around that top side.
Oh, Smooth now getting caught out. He's going to be okay. Seems like Uranus is going to have the regen, but the rest of SMG are here. And here comes the snipe down. Lexia, he gets one. He's looking for another min, trying to stop him down, but it's not going to happen as he gets the double kill from Team SMG.
Great mechanics coming in from Lexia. A good setup as Stormy was able to hit some huge sanguine claws to allow Lexia to jump in smoothly with his ultimate. Now the top side is in complete control of Team SMG, and iSonic is looking for farm.
My goodness, this is perfect display of give him an inch, they take a mile, because SMG literally did just that. They were able to win one small skirmish and they're just flexing it. And look at the confidence coming from Zyme Senpai. My goodness, he's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, we can also talk a little bit about the changes to the map here in Mobile Legends. Well, now the purple buff allows for you to actually have a little bit of a gap once the purple buff is down to kind of move in and out, giving much better access for supports and mid laners to get through it. But here we go. Min now in some trouble. Oh, clean way of the dragon. It's a flicker to instantly pop Ruby into bits. That's going to be another turtle going over to Team SMG. Nobody can get in on them.
This is kind of surprising. Zyme Senpai pulled a pretty big catch right there coming from SMG, and it seems like SMG, they are more than prepared in this, and I was expecting Zyme Senpai to, kind of have a really, really rough time, but he's adapted pretty well.
Yep, and now Sasa is taking full advantage here. Oh, the perfect execution doesn't land, but he doesn't need it, especially with Thorn Rose to secure those kills. Isonic falling behind as Lexia's more efficient route pathing in terms of the jungle farm is just much better. He's 2 levels ahead of him, and that is going to spell doom for Orange Esports if this continues on. Farsa is going to be popping down. Feathered Airstrike is Smooth, comes in to join the team play, but no minions to continue forward.
Oh, this is going to be really, really bad for Orange Esports. They know the Feather Airstrike is down, and SMGs, they've got even more room to work with because of that downtime, and this is not looking good for Orange Esports.
Well, luckily for Orange Esports, there's nothing that Team SMG could really do to actually continue the punishment at the very least, right? No Feather Airstrike. You have to wait about like 40 seconds at this point of time since you're so early on into the game. And most importantly, most camps are down. Big objectives like the Turtle haven't respawned, and even the buffs aren't even up yet.
Yeah, 70 seconds left before the next Turtle, but SMG, they've had a great run. They know that the Roger is not going to be able to do too much, and considering that Orange Esports has a very, very greedy lineup, Orange Esports, they're looking to drag this out. And like I said as well, SMG, knowing Lexia, he has this tendency to get extremely aggressive, but with the assistance coming from Zyme Senpai, looks like an almost near perfect game, but as I say that, anything can change. Anything can change.
See, that's the thing about Roger in particular. And one thing I didn't really like about Roger during M3, he could be super far behind, but the moment he gets that first kill and gets the snowball rolling, it's so difficult to kill unless you have a team that can kind of lock him down. And looking at Team SMG's lineup, right, if this game was going even, I would definitely think it's a little bit more favored towards Orange Esports composition.
If it was even.
If it was
even. Yeah, I perfectly agree, because considering that how greedy they are, if they're trading 50-50s to SMG, that's actually going according to their plan. But they're not trading 50-50s, and in this case, it is actually going into SMG's favor. And on top of it all, the longer this game drags on, SMG arguably does not have a marksman, but they still have a Cecilion, which kind of hits pretty hard in the late game as well.
Well, yes, they do have a Cecilion that hits pretty hard inside the late game, but let's not forget about Clint as well.
Oh, yeah.
Even though like his VFX aren't like the most outstanding in the world, you kind of feel shredded. Like, it's like, wow, I'm losing a lot of health. I don't know where it's coming from. It could just be the basic auto attacks coming in from Clint. But now, Orange Esports, the only hope that they have here so far is the game has already progressed to 12 minutes, is to survive until Wait, 12 minutes? That doesn't seem right.
No, wait, huh? It's been 12 minutes?
Wow.
No. I'm pretty sure it's including the pause time, right?
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. Now, with that in mind, let's say that, oh wait, they already find the I'm offended straight into a kill. 4 members to catch out one. Zyme Senpai finally gets punished, and now it's Smooth's job to try and stop any sort of gold leakage going over Orange Esports as they dive Beatrix down on bottom side, allowing a quick Hunter Strike to be purchased.
SMG, they did that really quickly as well. As soon as Zyme Senpai dies, they immediately trade one for another lane. In this case, Min might be in a bit of trouble here. The turret's going to be down, and here comes the dive coming from SMG. Unfortunately, Min going to be forced to flicker out of there, so that's going to be SMG forcing out a big battle spell.
Yeah, and Team SMG doesn't want to continue forward because Min still has the I'm offended, which is really frustrating to deal with and could potentially turn the tides. Feather Airstrike to clear them out. Turtle now up and ready to go. Game pause once again.
Yep, and another pause coming in. It seems like there's just a lot of pressure coming in from them.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's expected. It's early into the season, and most importantly here, I think, Team SMG is just looking like the cleaner team right now. Their team plays are looking good. Even their counterattacks, which is something that, Team SMG wasn't known for, is looking a lot better. It seems that they've learned a lot from their previous season, and now even with having newer members in the lineup, they still want to make sure those old mistakes don't get repeated.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But speaking of old mistakes, I feel like Orange Esports, they are really struggling to actually sync up. It seems like, if you compare to Orange Esports back into the previous season, even if they're losing this hard, as long as they make enough space for the jungler, in this case, was Ling Aza, everything would be okay. But in this case, Isonic hasn't had a very, very good run thus far.
Yeah, I think
I'm a little bit worried here. Who's the fallback plan? Because if you think about it, their jungler has died, their gold laner has died as well. Both Beatrix and Roger has suffered a lot of losses in this, 7 minutes of the game? I think, approximately there.
Yep.
And I don't know, can they stall enough time? And who do they stall it for?
Okay, I think what we need to talk about is how the compositions are designed, right? And I think for this particular Roger composition designed by Orange Esports is heavily dependent on the large amount of shred as well as peel coming in from the main two damage dealers, which is going to be the Beatrix and as well as Farsa. Both their ultimates deal a significant amount of damage, but not enough to kill in a lot of situations. Ruby is playing a more defensive role to try and stop the big heavy hitters like Lexia from getting into that backline, but they both want to do the same thing. Deal enough damage, put them down to 50% or maybe even 25% HP, and then send Roger as the executioner.
That's the thing, right? Like, I definitely, I can see where the idea coming from as well. The Ruby is just great at stopping initiations, but Lancelot isn't exactly any other assassin, you know? It's the type that has a lot of iframes that just goes in, and it can just completely ignore the defense of the Ruby. So I'm a little bit worried. So there's going to be a little bit more emphasis on the Ruby actually making the big catch. And seeing just now, with the flicker being baited out before the next objective, that's going to be a very, very huge loss.
Now, I don't think it's a huge loss. I think it just stops Orange Esports from making aggressive plays with the Ruby. However, defensively though, iframes or not, the moment, if he times his ultimate right, the I'm offended will shut, and not even just the ultimate, even the taunt is good enough. The short few seconds that they can get off of Lexia is more than enough to just hail fire on top of it. So I think it's really just about the mechanics, because both teams kind of want to do the same thing. The difference is, it's Ruby who wants to slow down the pace for the backline for the side of Orange Esports, and Smooth playing the Uranus, who works in tandem with the rest of Team SMG. They fulfill the same roles, just completely different sides of the map.
Yeah, I see where you're getting here. Like the idea of just hard, I would say hard lockdown a Lancelot, but that's the thing, right? You need the Esmeralda in action, and it needs to be in sync with both the Esmeralda, the stuns coming from Forza, alongside with the chain stuns coming from Ruby, and it's going to be extremely difficult considering that Esmeralda is like struggling against the Uranus of the other map, and the Forza hasn't exactly had a good game for Orange Esports. I'm sorry to say, but they need to figure out a way to deal with it as of yet, and I don't see a way in this game one. Honestly, I feel like it's pretty much a done deal ever since they messed up, like making space for this Roger, which initially in my mind is like, hey, Roger's gonna make space for this Beatrix. Unfortunately, that's not happening right now.
Yeah, they do need the side laners to get ahead here a little bit. But I think for Uranus, right now is not when he starts to pop off just yet. I think once he gets 2 items, then he's super comfortable with the position that he's going to be in. And until then, Team SMG are going to hit really hard in that mid game. And I think that's something that Orange Esports needs to kind of mitigate and slow down that bleeding till they get to that very last stage of the game. Their only issue at that point is how much damage can they mitigate, and can they get Uranus off their backline?
You know what's really hilarious?
What?
Like last season, Smooth has not played a lot of Uranus at all. He's played with Alice, and I think he was playing Alice and I think Barats, and also Glue a lot as well from season 7, season 8. But season 6, he was like, he only plays Uranus. And we were like, I remember last season as well, we were hyping up, oh, Smooth, he's gonna play the Uranus, but it never happens. And now it's like, hey, first game of the regular season, he's back on his Uranus, and guess what? It's a comfort hero for him. But people kind of forgot that he plays Uranus.
I don't feel,
I don't know.
I don't feel like people forgot that he plays Uranus. I think Orange Esports was just very comfortable to let it go, because they already picked Esmeralda at the end of the day. And what do you want to deal with? You want Uranus, who doesn't have that carry potential but is a huge annoyance, or Esmeralda, who has a lot more carry potential but doesn't have as much sustain or peel compared to a Uranus. So it's a give or take.
I guess if you put it that way, but as of yet, it seems like they are going to be starting the game very, very shortly. It seems like they are still trying to troubleshoot what is going on between both these matches, but I don't know. I feel like SMG, they look pretty laxed, whereas Orange Esports, they're looking a little bit tense.
Yeah, I think definitely for Orange Esports, this is their very first debut game. The more veteran members are a little bit more comfortable, but the newer members, you can definitely see them kind of like wanting to prove themselves.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It seems like there is just a lot of pressure, you know. Sometimes offline can be really, really overwhelming, and I get that, I respect that, but unfortunately, stats not going to help you. You know, it is a pro game. However, game is going to be starting. Here is going to be the Tier 1 being secured for SMG as they continue to snowball their lead.
Yeah, right now they want to just punish Orange Esports by just stealing away objectives, as many as they can. They know that they have a decent lead. They have Sasa, who is absolutely bonkers when it comes down on Clint, to just shredding down these turrets like they're absolutely nothing. He's already got the Berserker's Fury, so he has more than enough. If he gets any other items, it's just supplemented to how much damage he already dishes out.
Yep, and as of yet, Orange Esports seems like they are going to be grouping up as 4, leaving Esperanza on the other side of the lane. However, seems like the lanes are going to be pushed in favor, in towards Orange Esports base, whereas they're not pushing on the lanes, hoping to sync up for the Lord. And I'm not exactly sure what the clear objective that Orange Esports is trying to do right now.
I mean, if we could see the items, maybe we can have a better idea. I'm not sure how many items Man has right now, but iSonic's getting that War Axe is going to be pretty important. The movement speed is extremely good, especially when you're up against big healers like Uranus.
Oh no.
Smooth, but here we go. Min's already getting caught out. He literally cannot move a single frame forward as he gets completely mauled by Team SMG.
That was crazy. The amount of chain CCs coming from SMG is just spot on, and there's nothing much Orange Esports can do. But now they are going to try and push forward. ZymSaber does not have to wave the dragon, but on SMG, they just want to push up objectives. They possibly want to sync up for the Lord, but do they want to though?
I think they just want to deal as much damage, get rid of all the tier 2s. They're willing to sacrifice their tier 1s as long as it's not the mid lane turret. Like side lanes, it's just like bonus gold at this point in time. Doesn't really give you as much map control as you want it to. However, that mid lane turret, if that goes down, that opens up a whole new avenue for Orange Esports to play around in the enemy jungle.
Yep, and speaking of which, seems like they are going to be securing the objectives first. Orange Esports finally going to be pushing up the lane. The SMG, however, they're going to be sending Smooth on the top side, keeping Orange Esports in check. Meanwhile, the rest of the members from SMG are already in position for the Lord takedown. Orange Esports, how will they respond? Seems like they are sending the Esme and the Roger up top, so they are going to be late to the party. And guess what? The Lord is down half HP. Seems like SMG will get it for absolutely free.
Yep, you can see the goal deficit, 8k in favor of Team SMG. Orange Esports is really far behind here. Min, he's trying his absolute best to hold them off, and the same goes for WAF. They don't go down, but they are chunked out heavily, having to not only sacrifice a mid-tier 2, but also their orange buff.
Yeah, Team SMG, they're just getting everything for free right now, and considering that Orange Esports has just lost so much of the lead, I don't know. This is tough. This is rough. Look at Smooth. He's just right in the face of Orange Esports base, and they're just not responding to this.
Look, Smooth is literally level 13 to WAF's level 11. He's 2 levels up here, man. Lexia is level 15 to iSonic's level 12. He's 3 levels up. Even in the supports, he's a full... ZymSaber is literally a full level on Min. It is not an easy task to play this game, and Orange Esports has to wait for Team SMG to make a mistake.
Yo, Lexia is level 15. My goodness, he's so far ahead. But seems like the Lord is going to be knocking down onto the tier 3. Orange Esports, are they going to start any sort of fights? Min is only level 9. Seems like ZymSaber looking for the kick, but he's going to get chain stun as well. Min comes in, but do they get the finish? Feather Asher comes in, completely whiffs the mark. Will focus on towards the Lord. WAF, however, will get chunked out of SMG.
Oh, 2 consecutive crits. More than enough as they take down 2 inhibitor turrets, and they're only going to get more here off of 1 Lord coming in from Team SMG with a 10k gold lead. That is going to be checkmate as ZymSaber continues to flex. iSonic goes out instantaneously, and Alexia is unstoppable. A triple kill going to Team SMG. This is a new year, new me moment for Team SMG. Well done.
Wow, look at how quickly Sasa puts on the headset, takes off the headset. He knows he's got it in the bag. This is it for SMG, and what a convincing round coming from SMG, the defending champions, the M3 representatives for Malaysia. What a way to start the regular seasons here.
Yep, that's a really great start. Some clean plays coming out from Team SMG. They made it look clinical, easy games from here on out, and hopefully that's not going to destroy the mental coming in from Orange Esports here. They just played a little sloppy. It's their very first game here. They come back in game number 2. That is going to send Team SMG through the works.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like it shows you that, you know, Orange Esports, they've got a lot to work with. They got to fix their tweaks here and there, but fortunately for the it is only the beginning of the regular season and it's only game 1. So game 2, anything can happen.
Yeah, I think anything can happen here so far, but in terms of like what the meta is and the draft, I think both teams have a generally good idea. It really just came down to a couple of micro mechanics that made all the difference for Team SMG.
Now, I've got a little bit of question here, Orange Esports. Are they going to sub in balance? Because, we know for a fact that, previous season, Ling Aza was the star, but secretly, Valence was also the guy to go to.
Yeah, he kind of was. You're right, he was kind of the guy, but I don't think they're going to bring Valence in just yet. I think the current roster needs a little bit more experience, get comfortable up on stage before they can really start showing off what else they have. Because we all know how the early seasons of MPL always starts. Everybody kind of like feels each other out before they start getting comfortable and start showing the really sick compositions or even plays.
I definitely agree. Hopefully that is going to be the case here coming from Orange Esports. But before that, let's take a look at the item builds coming from that particular match. Speaking of which here, I want to talk about the War Axe. You brought it up during the cast as well. It has been nerfed a little bit, but is it still the meta pick? It seems like Lixia still picking it up for the jungler role, likewise coming from Sonic. Seems like there's not much changes here for the War Axe.
Yeah, I mean, no,
despite the nerfs.
I mean, despite the nerfs, yes, but it's an efficient buy to have. It's great to have the extra armor penetration. Most importantly, that it gives you that little bit of movement speed with the extra stacks that they have. It makes all the difference when you're chasing down an opponent. You can't just solely depend on the Hunter Strike to make all that difference. And more importantly for iSonic, and especially with his build on Roger, the moment you go into that melee form, it becomes so relevant when it comes down to shredding your opponents.
Okay, now, you brought up the Hunter Strike coming from Elixir, right? Is it because of the nerfs of the reduced of the movement speed? That's why junglers now could be going for War Axe immediately for Hunter Strike? To get that additional so-called movement speed?
No, I think it's because he's playing Lancelot. It's a good buy because it gives him a lot of damage and it's not dependent on how many auto attacks he does, for an example. Like, if you take War Axe, yes, every single time you get an auto attack, land an ability, it stacks up, it stacks up, it stacks up. For Lexia, literally he just has to land Thorn Rose, boom, he's got like extra
max stacks, like 4 or 5 stacks.
Exactly, he can instantly proc Hunter Strike, so it's just a very efficient buy, and not to mention he was like ahead iSonic for a vast majority of the game. So if he wanted to greed out, he could honestly, instead of a War Axe, he could have gone for a Blade of Despair if he really wanted to.
As of yet here, before we talk a little bit more into this game 2 now, let's take a look into the MVP of that particular match. It is going to be none other than Lexia with a 704 KDA to start things off with 84% kill participation. Sorry, Arta, not participation, but yeah. Sorry.
You have to meme him on the English broadcast. God dang. But congratulations to Lexia, the MVP of the game. You can see how present he is. He never wastes an opportunity when it comes down to, oh, he hears the support or the mage say, hey, I caught somebody. No worries, I'm gonna bank in on this.
That's the thing, right? Like, did Lixia catch people? It was more like, oh, I see an opportunity, I'm gonna dive in and I'm gonna get a free kill.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really simple and really easy to pull off, but Lexia, like, he knows what he's doing, he knows how to stay ahead, and most importantly, he's got the mechanics and the split decision-making when he's playing the games. You think we're looking at the game at 60 frames per second? He's looking at it at 120 frames. So he's
in his mind.
In his mind. So literally everyone is moving at 0.5 the speed that we see. It's crazy how fast his brain works.
Right? Like, if ever the game actually reaches to like 144 hertz, that will be on a different level of gameplay. You know what I mean? Okay, sorry, not 144, 120. All right.
Look, I
one step at a time.
That's kind of crazy though. That, right? It's kind of crazy if Mobile Legends could be played at like 120 frames per second. But looking at the highlights, we can see that it's very evident that Orange Esports has a very good idea on how they want to play the game. How they execute it is a completely different story.
Yeah. Okay. If we want to compare between SMG and Orange Esports, like SMG, they look very clear in terms of direction. They know what to do, what to prioritize. You can see, like, every single time SMG is like one step ahead of Orange Esports with their decision making. Even Zyme Senpai, even in this ambush, before this fight actually happened, SMG was already anticipating that Orange Esports is gonna walk through that bush like what, 15-20 seconds later, which is really crazy. Whereas Orange Esports, they're still trying to adapt to the playstyle where, hey, this is the draft we played last season, let's play like this. But the players don't exactly have a clear objective / direction on how to be played like how the previous seasons or their predecessor kind of plays?
I think I would beg to differ. I think that Orange Esports has a good idea of what they should be doing. However, when it comes down to the micro mechanics of it all, those small leads is what's really giving Team SMG the edge, as well as how quick Team SMG makes those decisions. While Orange Esports is literally like 1.5 to 1 second behind in some of their movements.
Well, speaking of game 1 as well, I did talk about this. Can Zion Senpai live in their predecessors? Expedia, Nova has shown really dominant and confidence in their tank role. That game 1, Zion Senpai was everywhere. He's super confident making the plays, and he's, I don't know, scared Orange Esports to a point that they don't exactly want to come out of the base.
Well, I'm not 100% convinced just yet because
maybe it's just one game, right?
Because you know how Malaysians are when it comes down to like high mechanical heroes like Cho. Everybody has played Cho at some point. Don't lie. I'm pretty sure most MLBB players out there who's like, I play some Cho,
Guilty as charged.
You know that feeling, right?
I know.
So it makes sense that Cho would be something that he has in his hero pool. Same goes for Selena and you know the obvious Matilda, Mage.
Okay, maybe not Selena. Selena's pretty hard.
Mage slash support styles, you know? That's expected.
True.
The question is, can he play things like hard tanks, Atlas, Kufra for an example, Belleric, so on and so forth? Or those are a little non-traditional except for, you know, maybe one of them. But more importantly, what about the Enchanter style roles? Estes, Rafaela, all of
Is it in the meta though? That's a little bit
They are
tough.
still relevant.
Favor nerf still meta-ish?
Even though Favor has been nerfed, I think Estes is still sitting on top as one of the most sustainable support mages out there that works around playing for big team fights. And we saw it during M3, we saw it during MWI as well, that people are still whipping out Estes when they do have the right opportunities.
But this is MPL Malaysia, bro.
Yeah.
We have our own flavor.
I mean,
have you seen our hashtag? It's Ini Gaya Kita. It means our flavor. What do you say? It's our style, sorry.
It's our style, but I do want to see him kind of show off the rest of his hero pool. Can he be that versatile roamer slash mage slash tank style support? I'm thinking how many more roles he can go with.
Okay, you know, a little bit inside joke for you guys as well. It seems like there are a lot of flex players throughout the entire MPL MY. And one of our flex here is also a flex manager, flex caster, flex mage, flex tank.
They've got, there's a lot of flexing going on here. But hopefully we do get to see that side of Zion Senpai here. But so far, if we are talking about Stormy, he's been landing some really good Sanguine Claws on his Cecilia. But a quick shout out here to celebrate together with us, it's going to be Nescafe. Guys, if you haven't copped yourselves one just yet and you're feeling a little tired as you're watching the MPL with all the pauses, don't worry, Nescafe has got you covered. It's just a great alternative for those of you who are like, man, I don't like these bigger corporations with super expensive coffees, when you can get a Nescafe and be like, you know what, this does the job.
So yeah, I don't know what corporation you're talking about, but all right, I'll get it. Nescafe is like my favorite drink. I've like got a lot of mocha. Mocha is like my go-to drink.
I feel like mocha is everybody's favorite drink at this point.
Just because it's sweeter than the rest, isn't it?
Pretty much here. But now
we just like our sugar.
We do.
Please slow it down. You know, you don't want to get diabetes.
Yeah, that's true. But let's check out the previous matchup. A quick head-to-head here in terms of the impact players. It's going to be Mon as well as Lexia that we have to keep an eye on for, because Mon was still able to net himself a good amount of kills and also break into the 22k mark.
Am I seeing this right? Okay, like everyone from the side of SMGs has hit the 20k gold mark. Is that the damage, or is... Oh wait, sorry, it's damage dealt. Okay, I'm wrong. Wait, damage dealt?
Yeah, damage dealt.
Okay, damage dealt. I thought it was gold. I was like, huh?
Yeah,
really?
no.
did the game really drag that long?
No, the game didn't drag on as long as what most people think. It's definitely with all the added pauses that it's hard to kind of get that usual timer that we're used to. But anyways, coming back to the amount of damage dealt, right? You could see that, you know, Lexia is making impact, even though he only did 21,000. Sasa, look at that, 28,000. He was able to shred people down, and even Stormy is keeping up in terms of damage.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you said as well. Like, you know, Clint does not have the flashiest play, but he does hit like a truck. In this case, if you want to compare both the gold laners here from Lola as well as Sasa, that's a big difference. But the biggest difference for me would be iSonic versus Nixia, because iSonic, that's not the amount of damage you should be seeing as a jungler.
I mean, to be fair, he wasn't really getting to play the game either, let's be honest.
Yeah, it seems like a repeat from previous season. I'm not gonna lie, like iSonic doesn't exactly have good stats so far.
I mean, not good stats, but also because of the conditioning. It's not like
Okay,
he
fair
forced to
enough.
play for himself. He's not. It's unfortunately just the situation. Maybe if he was playing something like Hayabusa, there might have been an opportunity to at least try and get, like, you know, some form of side lane pressure, maybe get a couple of picks here and there. But with Roger, you're very dependent on your team getting that early lead for you.
Yeah, at
and
least
then
the first few
snowballing.
kills, right?
Exactly, that's the thing. He needs a little bit of a fire starter to kindle things going.
Oh, it's only the warm-up games. It's only game number 1. Orange Esports, do they have a clear objective? Are they going to be down for this? But seems like based on their reaction from Orange Esports, I kind of agree. You know, the veterans, kind of cool, kind of collected. The new guys, it seems like there's a lot going through their mind.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it's
And I can't blame them, right? Like, this is a professional scene.
Exactly. It's definitely different from what they're used to, but once they start to, you know, start feeling themselves a little bit more, get a little bit more comfortable, and start understanding that pretty much everybody is just a regular person playing up on the stage, then you can start to see that, hey, you're not an absolute god at every single thing you do. We can punish and we can get away with things.
Agreed. But of course, for these guys watching at home as well, please, you know, please do take note. This is MPL. This is the highest level of competitive here for Malaysia. And of course, you know, if you think they're bad, trust me, they are pretty good. It's just that opponents are pretty godlike.
Yeah. Now, let's get into the second draft in our best of 3 team. SMG now on the blue side as Orange Esports are on the red, and SMG instantly banned out the Phoveus.
Yep. And yeah, wow, Phoveus being banned instead. Okay, I didn't expect that. I was expecting something else, considering that Phoveus was completely ignored in the previous game. But seems like this time, you know, Valentina, comfort bans coming from Orange Esports, SMG going for Phoveus. Are they gonna ban... I don't know what they're gonna ban. Are they gonna ban the Edith, maybe?
Personally, I think Team SMG is kind of opening things up.
Are they gonna still ban the Fanny again in first phase?
Yeah, I think for Orange Esports... Oh, sorry, for Team SMG,
yeah, SMG
right?
banned Fanny in the first phase.
I think they're trying to open things up, right? With the Phoveus ban here, it does open things up for a lot of dashy style assassins, right? It could be the Ling, it could be potentially Wan as well. It opens up so much.
They're going Fanny again.
They're banning Fanny.
Okay.
So now, most importantly, Lancelot and as well as potentially Wan could be brought on for Team SMG. And hopefully Orange Esports recognizes this. They've already banned out the Valentina, which is to be expected. Valentina is still really obnoxious to deal with at the end of the day.
Dude, what is this with this Fanny ban? Like, I feel like this is not a meta ban. It feels like they have some sort of inside knowledge that maybe iSonic is a pretty good Fanny player.
Maybe he's just cracked at Fanny.
I know, like anything else but Fanny.
Honestly, I don't think it would be too crazy if he was, to be fair. Now, Orange Esports, they banned out the Selena once again, and I think they're also going to ban out the Matilda on top of it. That's going to force, at the very least, it's going to force Zyme Senpoi onto Cho, and it looks like a pretty good first pick for Team SMG.
Oh yeah, a little bit of reminder for you guys as watching at home as well. Yin is actually banned, not allowed to play for now. So any other heroes allowed except for Yin. So maybe what, a couple of weeks more times, a couple more weeks, possibly we would see a little bit more Yin games.
To be fair, I'm not too excited for Yin.
It's very situational.
Yeah, he really is. Yin is really situational.
It's like you have to time your stun, immediately pop your ultimate, and immediately pop your first kill.
It's really...
It has like a very, very small window for mistakes. And if you do not kill him in time in the, I would say, his own domain, you are messed up, because the moment you come out, the rest of either your opponent surrounding you or your teammates protecting you when you get out of the domain.
I mean, it's hard to lose in this domain unless you're really far behind. Anyways, speaking of newer heroes, I really hope that Orange Esports don't ban out Edith, because I would really like to see Edith played here at MPL to see how the Malaysians generally want to utilize her, because I feel like everybody has like an idea of how Edith needs to be used, but like can't really push it beyond the limits.
You know, for me, I would classify Edith kind of like Aldous. If you put it that way, like
Aldous?
Yeah. Why I put it that way? Because if you think about it, right, Aldous, you know, all he needs to do is just get tank items and build his stacks of damage, right?
Okay.
Edith, I don't know how it works, but the moment he's like full tanky and he pops his ultimate, he hits pretty hard, and I don't know why.
I get where you're coming from here. And personally, I don't like the fact that Edith still does like a good amount of damage despite having full tank items once he comes out, right? Like, I like the fact that, yeah, tank items and you're still in your mech form, your armored form, you deal like hefty damage, like a good amount of damage.
A good amount, but not consistent enough. But when he comes out, it's like pew 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 pew. Okay, that's a marksman-ish tank. Like, is that even possible? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've never seen tanks do this much damage.
It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. But now Orange Esports are changing it up. They ban out the Lancelot and SMG take up glue for themselves. So once again, Smooth is going back onto the slow roll road.
We're back to Season 7.
We're back to Season 7, baby. Orange Esports, on the other hand, pick up Eve and Cho for themselves, denying it off of Zyme Senpai, Hayabusa, and as well as Rafaelia. Ooh! Let's see how Zyme Senpai plays the rough.
You wanted it.
I want to see whether he's capable of it.
No, you wanted to see an Enchanter-style support.
Yeah,
you got it.
I do. I'm very happy, but does it mean that he's going to win the game instantly?
I don't know. We've got a glue, we've got a Rafaela. Tell me, you know, like, that's so much sustains right there.
I'm not 100%
Dominance Eyes isn't exactly the best way to counter, I would say, healing now, even though last season we were talking about it all the time to deal with heals, but it's not really a great answer as well, if you think about it.
Well, I mean, it mitigates it a little bit, but that's when Favor was still good. Even now, I would still think that, you know, heals are still very relevant.
Yeah.
Still really, really good here. And finally, finishing off the first rotation of the picks and bans, it's going to be Orange Esports picking up the Clint, denying more picks away from Team SMG.
Yeah, Orange Esports, they're respecting Lixia's Lancelot from the get-go, going for a first phase ban. That's not really a good sign, considering that Lixia has a pretty big hero pool, if you think about it. He's got the Lig, he's got the Hayabusa, he can play Lancelot, he can play Roger as well, so I'm a little bit surprised about this.
Personally, I feel like at least Hayabusa is a little bit more manageable in comparison to someone like a Lancelot. You know, Hayabusa is slippery, but the moment you catch him, he's pretty much dead in the water if he doesn't have his ultimate. Orange Esports, on the other hand, just banning away these previous picks or stealing them off of Team SMG to deny them, and really showing how deep Team SMG's hero pool is going to be, and especially for Stormy, because right now, he is running out of options. I think he still has, like, what, Kagura still available, Farsa still available. Is there anybody, other mages that I'm missing out here? I think those are the two major ones that I'm seeing so far.
I still think that the Ruby pickup from Orange Esports or SMG is going to be very important, considering that both teams kind of prioritize that as well. Before, the previous season and also this current season, Sasa does play it on the XP lane previously. Now, from Orange Esports side, they did pick it for the roaming role, I would say the tank role. They didn't exactly work too well, but this time having the luxury to actually go for the XP lane, does Orange Esports pick it for themselves, or in this case, will SMG actually ban it? Is it a big threat?
I don't think it's big enough of a threat, because I think there's so many other things that we have to keep in mind. Number one is that right now the mages are getting clamped upon, and it feels like Orange Esports, they don't have enough bans to ban out all the mages, right? So they are prepared for Team SMG to start picking up something like a Lunox, or arguably more likely for a Team SMG, a Farsa at the very least.
Here comes the question. Are they going to go for a role swap? Like Zyme Senpai kind of plays a lot of mages, you know, forcing Stormy to play one of the easiest heroes to play. Hashtag Rafaela.
No, I don't think so. I think he's still going to be playing the roamer role. There's no real reason to actually change, especially when they're up a game as well. Just give more Stormy time to get accustomed with the team playing on a professional stage in the mid lane, and things are going to be a-okay. Now, Team SMG, they do ban out the Esmeralda on top of banning out the Yuzong, so I'm guessing they're leaning more towards something like Farsa, and I think Orange Esports is also prepared to give Farsa away to them.
All right. We did have a lot of hearsays about the Aulus pickup before the season actually happened as well. Aulus has had a significant amount of buffs, despite Ling Aza kind of flexing it out last season that Aulus is one of the strongest. You've got to respect him. You play against Ling Aza, you got to ban it. But this time, Orange Esports, they will pick it up.
Yeah, I think it's still a very farm-heavy, item-reliant style jungler, because he does very, very poorly in the side lanes. And not to mention that, you know, at this point, his matchups aren't looking very good with Glue and as well as Beatrix getting picked up. And now, Farsa, as expected, Beatrix getting picked up by Team SMG. All right, that makes sense. Let's see how that matchup is going to work. I wouldn't say that it's entirely Sasa favored, unless he is able to hit pretty much all those sniper shots.
I don't know. It feels like SMG, compared to the previous game, where they have a lot of catch potential and lockdown, this game, they're more reliant on just making sure that Smooth has a little bit more control, or maybe in this case, Zyme just healing Lexia and Stormy. Not exactly a big fan of this playstyle, but they're more relying on going for pickoffs rather than forcing a 5v5 team fight.
I mean, it's not the best composition in the world to have to play for pickups, and I do think that yes, they will try to play around their 2 damage dealers and allow Lexia to kind of do whatever he wants here. But I think they are still playing for Sasa at the end of the day. Orange Esports, they do pick up the Khalid this time round, and I think this is really interesting because right now they have a very clear way to disengage. Very strong wombo combos here with all his ultimate as well as Yves as well. Add Khalid on top of it to play as a rather flex role. If you need to stop Farsa from using her ultimate, or at the very least cancel it early, they have that option.
Well, all right. We are going to be heading in towards the game very shortly here between both Orange Esports as well as SMG. The drafts has been set, and we are heading in towards the land of the dawn. Will the wombo combo of Orange Esports prove to be their redemption here in game number 2, or will Team SMG, the defending champions, roll over them like how they did in game number 1? The drafts is set with the Allah's first appearance here in season number 9. Can Orange Esports redeem themselves from a tragic loss in game number 1? Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching game number 2.
All right, let's kick things off here in our second game. Back at the Land of Dawn once more. Orange Esports looking to try and regain some honor in this matchup, as immediately we are seeing Zyme Senpai as well as Stormy, who's going to be playing the Beatrix, and that means Sasa is going to be on the Farsa instead.
Yeah, and seeing how the game is going to be going here, Lexia is going to be starting things off on his blue side, the purple side, whereas Orange Esports, they are also going to be going on the purple side. Pretty good mirror matchup. However, Orange Esports taking a little bit too much damage, especially coming from Min. Not a great start for him.
No, I mean, there's nothing much he can really do because he is playing up against a Rafaeli as well as a Beatrix, who naturally have some really strong early game. Wap, he's in a little bit of trouble against Smooth, which is kind of shocking to say the very least here, because he shouldn't be losing this matchup too hard. Once he hits level 2, then it gets a little bit easier, but Smooth is doing a very good job.
Yeah, utilizing that before pre-level 2, he's going to be able to take a little bit more damage rather than sustain the fights. Going for the flex is good, but Zyme Senpai is going to be keeping the orange buff in check, making sure that iSonic doesn't have the easiest of time. And Orange Esports, they know what's up. They are sending Min to respond to this.
Yeah, they're stealing away camps, which is a little unfortunate because all he needs as much as he can. But I think this is good pressure. Very good pressure.
I've got a question.
Oh, Zyme Senpai, he's in trouble here as he tries to flicker away. He gets caught out by Min with the last hit of G. Couldn't know, and that's going to be first blood going over to Orange Esports.
That's a big catch coming from Orange Esports. However, I've got a little bit of question here.
All right, ask away.
Is it a Beatrix mid?
Yes, it is.
And a gold lane Farsa? Sasa playing Farsa?
I literally just said that at the beginning of the matchup here. Sasa knows what he's doing, man.
This is kind of weird for me.
I think this is a really good matchup because Sasa, he wants to keep harassing Lola, and he doesn't mind the wave getting pushed into him. Sasa doesn't care. As long as he clears that wave and Lola doesn't get to touch the turret, he's already at a win. Now Team SMG already finding good kick on the Smooth, but doesn't really matter as Min now taking the full damage of the Oki Shadow Kill. Turtle is slain, and iSonic is on the run. He kills the Turtle just in time, but here comes Smooth to push Waff back into the real-world manipulation. A double kill going over to favor of Stormy. Real world manipulation not gonna be enough, but they're forced back, and now purple buff under a lot of fire. Min's back into the fight, and there we have it. Team SMG forced to back away and take a smaller camp.
My goodness, like Smooth is just all over the place as well, and all around the faces of Orange Esports. He's barely taken enough damage, and he's able to sustain through this fight, and it makes a lot of sense why Clue is kind of meta-ish. However, speaking of which, on the bottom side, he's gonna get caught out. However, he's going to try and cling on towards iSonic, trying to disrupt his momentum, but somehow Smooth, he's making a lot of space. Can he survive this? No, he flickers away. No. Oh no, he goes for the escape. Nah, okay, he goes down eventually, but still, a lot of space created.
I mean, space created, but what is that going to convert to for Team SMG? Personally, I don't see it as Min. Ooh, he was thinking he was going to do a lot more damage, realizes, man, I didn't take Killing Spree, I only took Concussive Blast, so I'm going to just walk away here and play for the later stages of the game.
Yep, Orange Esports playing a little bit better from game number 1. Seems like this time they are matching up pretty okay. Meanwhile, Sasa is going to get burst chunked out a little bit from the real world manipulation. Meanwhile, Orange Esports, they are going to try and chunk the gold lane instead. The gold turret.
The gold
Platings of the turret.
Gold shield. But so far, as the rest of the team plays, I think Orange Esports, they're playing much more like a team. It was a really good move from both Mon as well as the Isonic actually moving up towards that side of the map for the time being. Sorry, Min and Mon moving up from the mid lane to actually allow Lola to go for the recall, because he so desperately needs to get out of that lane to heal back to full before coming back. And they're also suspecting a potential dive, as they've already spotted out the damage dealers from SMG rotate up to that top side. So good calls from Orange Esports.
Yeah, and as of yet, the top turtle is going to be the objectives coming from SMG. Orange Esports able to mirror this out. Min is going to be trying to find an angle to go for the kick here, but Zaim Sembo is just extremely annoying in this situation. They're calling in Smooth, and Orange Esports, they make the call to just back out.
Yeah, but I think that was a good call to back out there. They didn't have enough members, and more importantly, Smooth was halfway on the way to get to a turtle. A turtle isn't that big of a deal. It's a little sad, but wait, what can you do? And Min, sacrificing his life flick, tries to flicker on out of there, takes the full damage of the Ogi Shadow Kill, putting Stormy down to at least 50% of his HP. Lola can't really do much as they get cut away from Mon. Zaim Senpai just taking his time here.
Yeah, and that was a little bit of a greedy play coming from Min. Immediately gets punished for that, and I'm not exactly sure what's going through his mind. Going for the kick and then flickering back, that was kind of crazy.
I think he thought that he could create enough space to gather around with the rest of the team until they noticed that Beatrix was there, and then they had to call it off. They could not clump together. If not, they were going to get absolutely wasted by Nibiru's ult. So they have to keep in mind that every single time they go for these engagements.
Yeah, and Orange Esports, they're still focusing on defending the middle turret. Nothing much is happening as of yet. Lexia having the time of his life. He is going to be looking for another engagement. Seems like Team SMG, they're setting up for the top side, and Orange Esports not going to be able to respond in time. And seems like they are going to try and defend on the top side.
Yeah, but I think it's not worth it playing on bottom side. This is all they can really do, and even Team SMG understands that they have to play for the objectives because they can't really force out any of these lanes, maybe catching Aulus, but Aulus is making sure that his pathway lines up with where Orange Esports will go. Lola in trouble. He takes that damage, but sees Min and Mon coming in as the real war manipulation comes out. Stormy, unfortunately, is going to get hit by the third hit of GEEK couldn't know. He knew he was dead. He had no choice, no flicker, no tactical roll.
Yeah, this is it. Sasa might actually get caught out as well. Here he comes. Sasa gonna get bullied out. Here comes the Way of the Dragon, but the Purifier comes in and Sasa is gonna be A-okay. Meanwhile, on the sides as well, we have Lexia and Zaim Senpai catching the back lines, and Orange Esports, they get completely punished for their greed.
Oh boy, Orange Esports was on two different pages. They should have decided to break the structure first before initiating the dive. Team gets caught halfway in the mid of the play, and unfortunately they had to play for their own lives. They do lose a turret down, but now it's not going to be enough. The goal lead is in Team SMG's favor, and it's only going to increase.
Yeah, and WAF now going to be forced to open up the mat in contrast for Min instead, whereas SMG, they're already in position to actually contest the turtle. Orange Esports, they are going to try and force the fight, but the rest of SMG are in position, but they are going to be caught out. A big catch coming in from Zaim Senpai, and they managed to turn the tides as SMG, they're looking for a little bit more kill, and that's going to be the killing spree for Lexia, 3-0-4.
Oh, some really good kills coming in from Team SMG, really making the difference there when they have all their members together, and even Smooth making sure that he is just zoning out the core members of the side of Orange Esports, despite a majority of them still having their ultimates. They can't do much.
And Mon now going to be a little bit stranded here, but Smooth, oh, he catches him midway, and Mon, he's going to be in trouble as well. Smooth latches onto him, and he's going to be dead potentially, but no, the real Womanation keeps him in bay, but the damage has been done, and Smooth will get the kill.
Good ideas coming in from Mon, but he should have known he was dead regardless here. Isonic still heavily farming, trying to keep up with Lexia and using his ultimate, the Berserker's Fury, to clear up the waves. And even WAF just making sure they are playing defensively here. Oh, they find the initial pick onto Zaim, and he's in trouble, but he manages to get out just in time for the Holy Baptism to punish WAF in the process. What a play coming in from Zaim Senpai.
Oh, the idea was good, the play was good, but unfortunately Orange Esports teammates were just not in position to respond to that, but SMG, they played it to the beat. Zyme Senpai, how does he do it, man?
He is fast. He
I know,
is
right?
fast. Really nicely done. I really thought that another turret shot was coming out, but well,
Nope.
did it not, and he manages to survive with a sliver of health. Now, in terms of Team SMG, they have the lead, and they can start forcing plays onto Orange Esports, who is at a clear deficit here. I'm guessing that they're only at their third item, where are they at? 26 to 22. Yep, they're slowly building up towards that third item, and well, Team SMG comfortably having 2 solid items on their way.
Meanwhile, the middle side as well, SMG, they've got the control. Looks like they are going to try and push the middle lane before heading towards the Lord Pit. But it seems like the Lord is up. The middle tower is still relatively healthy for Orange Esports. Meanwhile, there is a huge wave pushing up top in towards SMG's turret. I don't know, do they want to defend? Seems like they are forced to.
Is that the right move, though? I feel like the moment Aulus does show himself on top side, Team SMG is going to immediately try and initiate and break down that mid-tier 1. And I think the moment they break mid-tier 1, it's going to be a slow bleed coming in from Orange Esports. They have to remember, if they sacrifice Lord, that's no big deal. They can contest it. They can hold Team SMG hostage by it as long as they waste their time by it. Oh, that's going to be an airstrike, and as well as the Sandstorm come in out smooth. What is he doing? Oh, he's chasing iSonic onto the top side of the map. He's lost a majority of his health, but he will be able to regenerate a good majority of it.
And that's the beauty of the glue. But however, let's take a look at quick items real quick here. Smooth, he does have the Dominance Ice, Radiant Armor on Zyme Senpai, but Lixia, he's 3 items big right now.
3 items big, but he can't really do much with the Hayabusa other than split push. It doesn't mean that his clear on the Lord is going to be fast or anything, so I think that's what's worrisome. If you look at iSonic, he's already got his 3rd item, which is really, really big for him now. Now he's going to be an absolute monster when it comes down to these fights, but he's also got the maximum amount of upgrades he can for his great battle axe.
I agree, and on top of it, for Orange Esports, they need to realize that they need to buy a little bit more time for iSonic, considering that he needs his level 15 before he engages. And in this case, Orange Esports, they're buying a lot of time, and I can see where the end game is for Orange Esports, but SMG, do they realize that this is all part of their plan?
I don't think SMG can really do too much if they keep dragging this game out. They need Orange Esports to make that mistake, and Min already starting off that play, trying to get on top of Zyme.
He survives!
Once again, Nibiru's Passion comes out with a mega kill with Lexia in the Oki Shadow kill form. Waff does stop Sasa from going any further, but he sacrifices his life, giving the kill over to Stormy, allowing Lexia to jump straight for the backline. He doesn't have his ultimate, but that's going to be it. Orange Esports on the run, iSonic not a part of the fight, and he is the majority of the damage dealer coming in from Orange Esports.
Yo, that is sick. How the Zyme Senpai just survives it all, and not once, he survived it twice, using his low health to bait Orange Esports to greet things out and punish them immediately. And because of this, they pretty much open up their middle turret. They open up the Lord potential as well in the hands of SMG.
I'm guessing Zyme has an anti-cuirass or something, probably something a little bit more
He's only got a Radiant Armor just now.
He only had Radiant Armor on the last check? Dang, that's a little unfortunate. Oh boy, he's taking quite a bit of damage, and even Lord is under the control of Team SMG. This is going to spell doom, because right now, if Orange Esports is able to defend against at least 1 Lord push, they still have an opportunity to get back into this game.
But meanwhile, seems like the Lord is going to be pushing out very, very shortly, but Team SMG, they will continue with their economy lead. And this time, they've got a 6.5k lead, and they've got all the time in the world to flex it out. Lexia is finally 15, but iSonic, even though he's 15, he's still a lot of items short. So Orange Esports, they don't exactly have enough time. They've got to pull out the Aulus plays in his next team fight.
I personally, I think iSonic is ready to fight here, and it's really important that Orange Esports keeps him alive, because he is going to be the majority of the damage dealer. Mon does damage, however, I feel like Team SMG is at a point where they've itemized against it. We've got Radiant Armors coming out. Oh wait, hold on, Zyme Senpai once again getting kicked back into the team. He flickers on out. Nibiru's Passion is going to absolutely demolish with the help of the Oki Shadow kill onto Lola, and now with 1 member down, that's all outer turrets down, and Sasa a free pass to absolutely annihilate the backline as they're trying to get rid of this Lord. Smooth in the middle of everybody with the split as they break open an inhibitor. SMG are throwing bodies at the wall, and the wall is moving back backwards. Orange Esports have given them too much space.
My goodness, Team SMG, my goodness. The space created coming from Smooth is just unreal. Orange Esports just cannot respond to this. And on the top of it all, again, Zyme Senpoi getting caught out. But guess what? He's alive again. But this time, they are going to go for a little bit more as they catch on towards WAF. And that's going to be Orange Esports losing their core of XP lane. Meanwhile, Orange Esports, the only thing they can do is just crumble and defend. They're dishing out everything to push SMG back, and SMG, they're still so healthy from the heels of Zyme Senpoi.
Really beautiful play coming in for
The catch.
SMG. A cash onto Zyme Senpai. They're trading 1-for-1 here. There he has it. He's got everything he needs, but
Oh,
Namir's passion
no.
deals too much damage. And now Lexia with an easy double kill with the help of Stormy to change the tide of the fights. GG. Well played for Team SMG.
SMG, the defending champions, starting things off in the regular season with a clean 2-0 against Orange Esports. Who's the better Orange? Who wears it better? Guess what? Orange is the new black for SMG.
Oh, beautiful gameplay. Beautiful, beautiful gameplay coming out from Team SMG here. Orange had some really good ideas, but when it came down to it, that last hurdle that Orange Esports had set up to stop this tsunami of Team SMG, they managed to get over the floodgates.
Yeah, and this is crazy. But before that, let's take a look at the mic checks coming from Team SMG and how they do.
Boleh.
Dah 45. Ambil depan lo. Esmelo. Roger datang. Bekali. Dua bos skill. Okey, keting. Nice. Nice MG. Boleh ke? Dapat Roger. Nice. Nak surrender ke? Goreng kan? Goreng weh. Goreng. Aku datang Andre. Aku baru Andre. Ni aku tahu lulus. Nah, aku dapat. Boleh masuk. Gas. Menang kita. Menang. Kau ni kena kick aku. Salah kick. Maju. Tu tengok Alip. Okey. Mau dia dah? Tengok coba belakang. Nampak belakang. Alip mati kan? Mati dia. Kau ni tak ada figure tau. Basami. Aku tu cau. Dia atas. Dua atas. Okey. Gas. Alamak, dikit aku. Boleh. Aku ada figure. Nice. Mati. Nice. Aku di atas. Lari sah? Ini. Boleh. Ini belakang. Oh, belum letup kan? Tak, jaga posisi. Belum. Jaga posisi tau. Gas. Tahu bawah boleh letup lah. Next ni. Okay, next. Tengok. Sasar masuk.
Perlawanan pembukaan yang cukup menarik di mana pasukan defending champion kita, pasukan SMG, berjaya menewaskan pasukan Orange Esports. Sekarang ni saya sit selaku stage host anda bersama dengan seorang pemain daripada pasukan SMG yang baru saja menewaskan pasukan Orange, iaitu Lexia. Bagaimana perasaan awak menewaskan pasukan Orange dengan pasukan baru?
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Perasaan masih baru lah. So, tak terlalu excited lah kena fokus sebab masih awal
Right. Okey, jadi sekarang ni selaku pasukan defending champion dengan kemenangan di perlawanan pembukaan, adakah Lexia rasa pasukan SMG, pasukan baru awak ni mampu untuk mengekalkan kejuaraan dan sekaligus menjadi pasukan back-to-back champion di dalam MPL? Adakah pasukan SMG sekali dengan Lexia rasa confident boleh lakukan perkara tersebut?
InsyaAllah boleh. Usaha lah. InsyaAllah. Boleh.
Alright, sekarang ni kita dapat saksikan bagaimana datangnya pemain baru seperti Lexia, Stormy juga. Kali ni Zyme Senpoi nampaknya berubah sedikit dari segi role. Adakah dia akan terus menjadi Roma ataupun ini merupakan satu strategi untuk memberikan kekeliruan kepada pihak lawan?
Ini adalah strategi lah.
Strategi. Alright, terbaik. Tanya sekali lagi saya ucapkan kepada awak Lexia sekarang ni. Mungkin anda ada kata-kata kepada peminat sebelum celebrate kemenangan bersama pasukan SMG. Apakah yang mungkin anda nak katakan kepada semua peminat-peminat SMG yang menyokong SMG daripada season sebelum ni sehinggalah sekarang?
Saya nak berterima kasih semua yang dah support SMG dan juga saya. Jangan lupa support lagi lah. Terima kasih semua.
Alright, so sekarang ni kita dapat saksikan bagaimana satu perlawanan yang cukup baik. Tetapi terima kasih diucapkan kepada Lexia boleh sambung celebrate dengan SMG. Sekarang jangan lupa kita masih lagi ada MPL Show bersama-sama dengan Jasusuran, Lafel dan juga Gideon. Take it away you guys.
Alright, selamat kembali bersama dengan saya Jas Suzuran. Dan tadi kita telah selesai tengok match yang kedua tadi, dan sekarang Abeja bersama dengan Lefel dan juga Gideon.
Ya, ini bagus yang Sif ingat you, Gideon.
Yeah, feels nice to be remembered once in a while, man. Yeah, English broadcast still alive.
And dekat dalam game tadi, Ja, bila kita tengok, I rasa betul-betul evidence. Sebab kalau kita tengok daripada game tadi, perbezaan mekanik antara SMG dengan Orange memang jelas ternampak lagi daripada side of Lexia dan juga Sasa, di mana yang saya nak highlight dekat sini. Sebenarnya beberapa kali tim Orange Esports mereka cuba untuk mendapatkan Sasa pada bahagian backline. Tapi selagi Sasa ada dia punya Purify, dia macam tak takut. Dia macam tak apa, you guys buat apa-apa yang nak, I boleh jaga diri sendiri kat belakang.
That's true, but let's also forget that, Smooth is really outclassing his lane right now. He not only has the control, but also has the impact to start bleeding his lead into other lanes.
Right, so kalau kita tengok tadi kan, okay, tim Orange tadi mungkin untuk awal-awal game tu macam ada improve sikit.
Yes, betul.
Tapi bila dah masuk mid lane tadi, mid game tadi tu, apa komen Lefel?
Ya, I boleh nampak di mana pada bahagian mid game, diorang overestimate diorang punya damage sendiri dan ada few miscommunication here and there. Sebab beberapa kali kita nampak Cho berjaya untuk mendapatkan Rafaela, tapi ada situasi di mana tak cukup follow up-nya datang. Mungkin diorang underestimate Rafaela punya defensive, I pun tak sure. Tapi macam mana sekalipun, sekarang kita akan tengok itemization untuk kedua-dua team. Kita akan tengok itemization dan juga hero. And of course kita akan tengok Zaim Z-Boy yang menggunakan Rafaela dekat sini, di mana sepatutnya team Orange Esports mereka perasan, walaupun yes Rafaela dia adalah support, tapi tengok itemization dia ada anti-crash dan juga Radiant Armor and Immortality. Jadi kalau mereka serang sekalipun, dengan kekurangan gol mereka, dengan perbezaan 16 dengan 3 daripada segi kill, susah untuk diorang jatuhkan Rafaela. Maybe diorang punya targeting kena improve lagi, Gideon.
Yeah, I do think that they definitely had the right idea in terms of how they wanted to play out the composition. But more importantly, I think what it came down to is just overall communication, because they wanted to play for Lola, but Lola ended up getting continuous pressure from the mid lane despite Orange Esports making that first move. You can see he's almost at his third item, so close to that Blade of Despair, and that could have meant everything if the game dragged on for at least 2 or maybe even 3 minutes.
Ya, dekat dalam game ni also yang I nak highlight adalah di mana Farsa tak pergi kepada bahagian mid lane. Dia actually Sasa yang menggunakan Farsa pada bahagian gold lane and Stormy yang menggunakan Beatrice kat bahagian mid. And I rasa benda ni is satu elemen yang bagus untuk team SMG, di mana Sasa dia tak lock kepada certain hero type. Dia tak paksa untuk main marksman all the time, di mana I tak ingat kat mana, mungkin ada interview sebelum ni di mana Sasa sendiri cakap, sebenarnya I nak pakai Farsa tapi I punya team tak percaya I boleh pakai mid.
Tak berani pakai. So hari ni dia pakai. So
dia buktikan
dia boleh lah. Dia boleh main lah. Right, Sasa. Jadi itu kita dah tengok itemization, right? So tadi jom sekarang kita tengok dia punya stat kita untuk perlawanan tadi Lefel.
Ya, kita akan tengok daripada segi damage and Lexia, Stormy dan juga Sasa. Ini menunjukkan betapa kuatnya team SMG dekat sini, di mana sama rata keluaran damage antara jungler, mid laner dan juga gold laner, gold mid jungle. Okay. But anyways, Smooth dekat sini menggunakan glue. I rasa macam itu satu mistake di mana mereka lepaskan glue, because again, glue susah untuk counter in meta sekarang. Yang boleh counter is Fairmans, tapi nampak gayanya tak ada team yang berani sangat nak bawa Fairmans sekalipun.
Okay, to be in Orange Esports defense, they wanted to have that early game matchup because Kali should be able to take care of glue pre-level 4. And I think that's the most important part, that they weren't able to kind of abuse that, and especially at level 2, Waff making a significant mistake not hitting his level 2, and more importantly, losing out control over the lane against Smooth really put him so far behind. Most importantly, I think Stormy here is a great addition with Team SMG. He works really, really well with Lexia, and he's very responsive, especially when Zaim Senpai is kind of giving him the information that he needs.
Ya, lagi satu benda yang nak highlight juga adalah damage kepada tower. Ya, kita nampak Rich Guy pergi kepada Lexia, Carry pergi ke Sasa, Sandbags move dan Forgotten One pergi ke Zaim Senpai. Tapi damage to tower, kita boleh nampak Orange Esports mereka tak boleh nak pergi ke depan sekalipun, nak sentuh, nak dapatkan banyak objektif dekat sini. So SMG, diorang just menang segala-galanya.
Betul, kalau kita tengok tadi memang SMG untuk game pertama, game kedua memang diorang ni betul-betul pergi depan je. Memang tak bagi chance langsung lah. Memang tak ada chance untuk pasukan Orange Esports untuk petik sikit pun tak boleh.
Ya, betul. Dekat dalam game ni kita tengok daripada segi stats pun, untuk Orange Esports damage yang paling tinggi ada daripada Man, tapi Man punya damage pun hanyalah 36,000. Lola again, macam mana Gideon sendiri cakap, diorang macam nak fokus kepada lane Lola, tapi setiap kali kena pressure and kita tukar dia punya setup Sasa lawan Lola, memang Sasa akan menang.
Jadi untuk kita punya MVP, kita tengok siapa kita punya MVP kita. Masih lagi Lexia dengan KD 706.
Ya, dekat sini saya rasa memang patut Lexia menjadi MVP 706. Bukan saja dia punya KDA, tapi macam mana dia flank ke belakang.
Yeah, I mean, his flanks are really, really good. I think what people underestimated a jungler is his capability of understanding timings. When should he be going in? When should he pop his ultimates? You don't just go in as an assassin, use all your abilities, and then let go of the reins saying, hey, I've done my job, I've used all my abilities, I can't do any more. Lexia takes these small opportunities, picks up a couple of kills, but most importantly, forces out your opponent to be wary of him.
Yeah, actually, I suka you punya point because I pun perasan di mana Lexia, walaupun kita tahu mechanically dia hebat, fast hand lah orang kata kan. Tapi walaupun dia fast hand, tapi cara dia main sebenarnya slow. Dia tunggu. Dia dah gunakan quad shadow. Dia dah guna dia punya first skill and then dia just basic attack. Dia nampak orang try untuk follow dia balik, dia shadow ke belakang and then shadow ke depan balik and then dia guna dia punya itemization dengan sangat bagus di mana dia ada Blade of Heptasis kat situ. So dia make sure bila dia masuk ke depan, dia basic attack dulu, clear off dia punya passive and then baru dia decide sama ada dia nak terus attack, dia nak pergi ke belakang, gunakan ultimate dan sebagainya. So walaupun mechanically bagus, walaupun fast hand, dia masih boleh main dengan slow dengan cara yang selamat.
Oi, itu memang saya dengar tadi macam mana Gideon dan juga Level analyst tadi, saya rasa macam saya patut ada kat situ lah rasanya. Right? Jadi sekarang ni Level Gideon, apa kata kita tengok dulu highlight untuk game tadi.
Ya, dekat dalam highlight sini di mana untuk team SMG dan juga Orange Esports, di mana Orange Esports dia dah belajar. Dia tahu okey, Zaim Senpai dia akan selalu ke depan, dia akan overextend sedikit, so diorang berjaya untuk dapatkan that first off kill. Tapi dengan diorang punya draft di mana mereka punya jungler perlukan masa untuk dapatkan item, masa untuk dapatkan level, baru dia boleh pop off, baru dia boleh fight. And dekat sini kita boleh nampak dengan team SMG macam okay, well korang punya jungler takkan fight awal-awal. So Lexia dekat sini again, be very very patient. Tapi bila dia perlu laju, dia boleh laju. Dia boleh securekan turtle walaupun di antara semua orang daripada side of Orange Esports.
Yeah, I think especially with a lot of these plays, Team SMG most importantly makes some really good decisions because here clearly Zaim Senpai is caught, but he managed to survive, flicker on out of there, use his ultimate. He's got the mechanics to kind of back him up. The big issue is that Orange Esports continuously tries to punish him even though they know exactly when Zaim Senpai is going to have his flicker. And every single time they try, it just doesn't work out until Zaim Senpai decides, you know what, give me your mortality, I don't care anymore.
Ya, dekat dalam game ni, I rasa that Orange Esports diorang slow start faham apa yang SMG cuba lakukan, tapi mungkin terlalu slow.
Jadi kedudukan kumpulan kita untuk grup A, Team SMG, rasanya pembukaan yang sangat baik untuk Team SMG.
Ya, ini pembukaan yang sangat baik dan ini saya rasa apa yang semua fan SMG nak tengok. Apa yang diorang nak tengok. Bukan setakat menang, tapi menang dengan sangat-sangat confident. Dan dekat sini juga kita tengok standings. Homeboys, negatif 8 points. Siapa yang follow MPL tahu apa yang berlaku situasi ini. Tapi kita akan cerita tu lebih lanjut nantilah, Gideon.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, honestly, looking at this, it's like they rebranded, new year, new me. This is the perfect start.
Ya, SMG still nampak sangat-sangat kuat. Orange Esports, I rasa diorang ada potential because again, in terms of mechanic,
the idea, right?
Yeah, the idea is there. Cuma diorang punya chemistry belum cukup gah lagi.
Belum muncul lagi.
Betul.
Rasanya kita doakan yang terbaik untuk Orange Esports. Jadi sekarang ini kita dah selesai tengok match yang pertama. Match kedua kita dah tahu tim MCG betul-betul padu. Jadi sekarang ini Level, kita nak bincang tentang kita punya ni, apa namanya, lagu baru tu. Dah dengar?
Oh ya, yeah. I'm a rockstar tu.
Itu.
Tak, ini terus-terang bila saya dengar dekat waiting lobby, dia memang gempak semacam. And just untuk cerita balik pasal game tadi, tarik balik sedikit je. Di mana I suka macam mana Lexia confident, but still masa interview tadi dia macam humble lagi. Assalamualaikum. Kita tak boleh nak confident sangat, InsyaAllah kita try the best.
Masih awal lagi. Jadi, Cop, saya nak tanya. Okey, selain daripada MVP, siapa lagi yang awak rasa yang paling rockstar tadi?
Sebenarnya saya nak cerita sikit about Stormy. Walaupun Stormy adalah player baru, tapi saya rasa dengan adanya dia dekat situ, mula kita mempertikaikan, boleh ke Zaim Senpai untuk main roamer, tapi bila Stormy main mid dengan sangat baik, tak kisah mage ataupun marksman, I confident dengan Stormy. I rasa Stormy kita kena highlightkan sebagai small rockstars tu.
I mean, of course you're going to call him a small rockstar after he performs really well. See, you need to have faith beforehand. I think out of all the players that we were talking about just now, I think Smooth, personally for me, is really just in a class of his own. He's very confident with his own plays. Prior seasons, a lot of people were making fun of him. He was only playing one hero.
Lord Smooth.
Yeah, Lord Smooth and things like that. But now he's extremely comfortable, and more so he knows that he's better than a lot of other players, and he continues to prove it.
Ni, apa namanya tadi? Oh, saya betul-betul fokus sebab tersedar tadi Sebab kita benda baru kan. Jadi
Yes, betul.
sebab selalunya kita tengok okey macam tu. Sebab saya tengok bila saya tengok match okey, semuanya nampak cun. Tapi dekat sini baru kita tahu kat mana silap, kat mana kurang. Jadi untuk combo raksasa tadi, adakah itu up to expectation?
That's an interesting question. Do I feel okay? To be fair, I do think there is a sort of element of the Raksasa, especially in game number 2, where you're seeing Hayabusa work in tandem with Farsa. Farsa uses her ultimate, then you just wait for the right moment to jump on in. I think they speak the same language here. They don't need to necessarily verbalize it.
Yes.
They just need to say, hey, I use my ultimate, you know what to do next.
Ya, diorang punya same language mana saya cakap Ganu. And then Sasa perlis sebenarnya. But anyways dekat dalam game, apa yang I suka pasal Raksasa tu, ini bukan full potential lagi. Sebab nampak macam dua-dua tak perlu nak push diri sendiri sangat. Diorang just macam okay, kita follow tempo team kita sendiri, you know, Zaim Senpoi mana dia pergi kita ikut, dan kita akan follow up dan sebagainya. So diorang belum push to the limit. Bila dah betul-betul push to the limit, di mana betul kita tengok Lexia perlu dapatkan lebih lagi untuk dia punya team, Sasa boleh endkan game. I rasa the combo is good and ada banyak lagi potential yang kita tak nampak lagi.
Alright, so belum lagi kita nampak raksasa. Jadi untuk game seterusnya kejap lagi kita ada TODAK menentang RSG. Tapi bukan sekarang lah, sekejap lagi. Tapi kita nak bagi tahu kepada semua penonton untuk MPL Malaysia musim ke-9 ini dikuasai oleh Munton dan dipersembahkan oleh McDelivery bersama dengan telefon pintar rasmi Samsung dan diraikan bersama dengan Nescafe. Jadi kita jangan ke mana-mana. So ada banyak lagi kejutan-kejutan untuk anda semua kejap lagi. Right? So apa kata kita berehat dulu suka kita. Right?
Yeah. I can't wait, honestly. This matchup is so sick.
Apa ni? Sekejap, kita nak cakap apa tadi? Yes, kita nak berehat sebab saya dah tak fokus kali ni. Jadi kita kembali selepas ini, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan.
You won't be beating me this time. Why am I always the one getting hurt? Chocolate, did she? Fanny, did you get any chocolate? I received tons. I'll win next time for sure. This is for you, my teammate. For me? Well, it's surely rude of me not to accept your kind gift.
So, diorang dapat pelbagaikan lagi gameplay diorang dan Angka yakin dua-dua tim ni boleh pergi sangat jauh dekat MPL.
He actually pushed everyone to harder, could be more stressful.
Pushes the limit of Mobile Legends in terms of meta, in terms of players' mentality, in terms of stamina. This is how you be a professional player.
Let's make OT, skill satu dia dah mati, Mas. Terus ini for apa?
Malaysian meta is very taste the dopamine sort of meta.
You perlu telan rasa pahit tu supaya you boleh rasa kemanisan yang akan datang.
Our meta is more focusing on helping or contributing dekat marksman supaya dia boleh orang kata istilah fat untuk win the game. Pergi mana-mana region, any part of the world, kita orang boleh perform.
fell creatures! Ka! Be determined! Ka! Ka! Iron may break, but never my will. Sweep the existence! Always at the tip of the spear.
You have slain an enemy. Godlike. Legendary. Victory.
Mission completed. Valkyrie power reinforced with modernized gear. Not a bad idea, is it? Wherever they run, Saber will hunt them down. Forge a lock on! Nice job, girl.
Legendary.
Okey, rambut pun dah kemas. Handsome juga aku hari ni Alamak.
Tenang Jamil, kita boleh.
Hello, kita jumpa lagi. Good afternoon. Wah, sejuk ya office you.
Hi, I'm Sasa.
Look at me. I'm the captain now.
Saiful, kereta kami dia sakit perut. So saya nak ganti untuk hari ini.
Ada M, Link Eza, Kaiser juga.
I ingat you nak butiran SAI kan? Nah, inilah SAI.
Roster kami baru tetapi kuat. Sangat kuat.
Cantik tak that painting tu? I yang lukis kan? Baik dong, bukan SAI aku lah. SAI team kita, Aiban. Sorry nanti kita anda lagi.
Apa? Kekuatan roster kami?
Of course, it's me lah.
Saya kot.
Saya kot.
Saya.
IJN pun ada S. Kan orang tak tahu lagi.
Lexia also good. Strong. We can call combo. Rockstars ya. Nice one.
Dah habis lah. Ada lagi tak?
Walaupun ada player-player berpengalaman.
Walaupun season ni kami tiada zone. Walaupun Ciku tengah rehat. Walaupun roster kami tetap sama.
Walaupun champion season lepas, we have to work harder.
Target kami setiap musim pun sama. Pastilah.
Juaralah.
Apa mereka?
Respect to that champion.
Tak kisah. TODAK tetap langgar. Tak sabar lagi lah. Ini musim kita. Okey, terima kasih. Okey, thank you.
Okey, jumpa di regular season.
You won't be beating me this time. Why am I always the one getting hurt? chocolate, did she? Fanny, did you get any chocolate? I've received tons. I'll win next time for sure.
This is for you, my teammate.
For me? Well, it'd sure be rude of me not to accept your kind gift.
So, diorang dapat pelbagaikan lagi gameplay diorang dan Angka yakin dua-dua tim ni boleh pergi sangat jauh dekat MPL.
He actually pushed everyone to harder, could be more stressful.
Pushes the limit of Mobile Legends in terms of meta, in terms of players' mentality, in terms of stamina. This is how you be a professional player.
Esme OT, skill satu dia dah mati, Mas. Terus ini for apa?
Malaysian meta is very taste the dopamine sort of meta.
You perlu telan rasa pahit tu supaya you boleh rasa kemanisan yang akan datang.
Our meta is more focusing on helping or contributing dekat marksman supaya dia boleh orang kata istilah fat.
I'm a rock star. Yeah, rock star. Ay, ay, ay. I'm a rock star, baby. I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star. Panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star.
Kita rockstar, kita buat saja gaya kita. Makin panas apinya sudah membara. Macam mana pun kau menempuh segala. Demi negara kau buat semua bangga. Step into my world, you know I'm always in my zone. You know I got my team, no I'm never alone. Bring out my best, buat yang terbaik. Jadi juara perlahan kita naik.
Aku nak push, naik-naik jadi lebih bagus. Jadi hero, ku ada skill. Berapa banyak musuh aku dah kill. Ramai cuba mencabar, cause they envy me. Tiap game aku pasti jadi MVP. Easy.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar. Tengok nanti siapa yang juara. Ni peluang kita bawa pulang piala. This is my game, this is my time. Menang semua, everything will be mine. Kalau jatuh kau pasti kembali. Bangun balik, ku tegak berdiri. Kuatkanlah tenaga, ganti ganjaran diperoleh. Ni kejohanan kita, Malaysia memang boleh. Rise up to the top, kita buat bersama. Semangat kita kuat di bawah satu bendera.
I'ma go hard for the win. On the battlefield till the end. I'm trying to beat the greatest anyone has ever seen.
Stand by, I'm coming in for the win. I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star.
I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star. I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star.
I'm a rock star. Yeah,
Rock star?
Ay. I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star.
Kita rockstar, kita buat saja gaya kita. Makin panas apinya sudah membara. Macam mana pun kau menempuh segala. Demi negara kau buat semua bangga. Step into my world, you know I'm always in my zone. You know I got my team, no I'm never alone. Bring out my best, buat yang terbaik. Jadi juara perlahan kita
Get on my way,
naik.
aku nak push, naik jadi lebih bagus. Jadi hero, ku ada skill. Berapa banyak musuh aku dah kill. Ramai cuba mencabar, cause they envy me. Tiap game aku pasti jadi MVP. Easy.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar. Tengok nanti siapa yang juara. Ni peluang kita bawa pulang piala. This is my game, this is my time. Menang semua, everything will be mine. Kalau jatuh kau pasti kembali. Bangun balik ku tegak berdiri. Kuatkanlah tenaga, ganjaran diperoleh. Ni kejohanan kita, Malaysia memang boleh. Rise up to the top, kita buat bersama. Semangat kita kuat di bawah satu bendera.
I'ma go hard for the win. On the battlefield till the end. I'm trying to beat the greatest anyone has ever seen.
Stand by, I'm coming in for the win. I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar.
I'm a rock star. Yeah,
Rockstar?
Ay, ay, ay. I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star.
Kita rockstar, kita buat saja gaya kita. Makin panas apinya sudah membara. Macam mana pun kau menempuh segala. Demi negara kau buat semua bangga. Step into my world, you know I'm always in my zone. You know I got my team, no I'm never alone. Bring out my best, buat yang terbaik. Jadi juara perlahan kita
Get on my way,
naik.
aku nak push, naik-naik jadi lebih bagus. Jadi hero, ku ada skill. Berapa banyak musuh aku dah kill. Ramai cuba mencapai, cause they envy me. Tiap game aku pasti jadi MVP. Easy.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar. Tengok nanti siapa yang juara. Ni peluang kita bawa pulang piala. This is my game, this is my time. Menang semua, everything will be mine. Kalau jatuh kau pasti kembali. Bangun balik ku tegak berdiri. Kuatkanlah tenaga, ganjaran diperoleh. Ni kejohanan kita, Malaysia memang boleh. Rise up to the top, kita buat bersama. Semangat kita kuat di bawah satu bendera. Ay.
I'ma go hard for the win.
Win.
On the battlefield till the end. I'm trying to beat the greatest anyone has ever seen.
Stand by, I'm coming in for the win. I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar. I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar.
I'm a rock star. Yeah.
Rockstar?
Ay. I'm a rock star, baby, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, I'm a rock star. I'm a rock star, panggil aku rock star. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rock star.
Kita rockstar, kita buat saja gaya kita. Makin panas apinya sudah membara.
Selamat kembali ke Premier Show MPL Malaysia musim yang ke-9. Okey, MPL Malaysia musim ke-9 dikuasai oleh Munton dan dipersembahkan oleh McDelivery bersama dengan telefon pintar rasmi Samsung dan diraikan bersama dengan Nescafe. Terima kasih kepada sponsor-sponsor kita. Mana kata kalau tak ada sponsor kita, mungkin stage kita tak begitu nak cerah. Dan sekarang ni Abang masih lagi bersama dengan Level dan juga Gideon.
Ya, agak seram lah kalau kita naik stage tu gelap. So, terima kasih lah kepada kita punya sponsor. And ya, game pertama tadi Gideon, quite one-sided. Tapi Todak lawan RSG rasanya one-sided juga ataupun fight lebih sikit.
I think it's going to be a little bit more even, right? We did get news that, Todak does have, quarantine in place for some of their players. I'm not sure about their performance as of today. However, I'm excited to see how RSG is going to be working together, especially with the 2 new players joining the team.
Baik, sebelum tu saya nak bagi tahu sebenarnya berita baik untuk penonton-penonton kita. Kita ada Q&A. Q&A dia bunyinya macam ini. Okey, pemain manakah jadi dinombatkan sebagai Best Rookie MPL Malaysia musim yang ke-8? A. Ling Eza, B. Sonic dan C. Iris. Kalau tahu jawapan, jangan bagi tahu saya.
Itulah. Saya rasa macam
kena bagi tahu dekat laman web yang tertera. Boleh isi kat situ. So, ada yang menarik menanti anda lah. Baik.
Jawapan dia Link Eza. But anyways, teruskan. Tapi dengan terus letak.
Jangan macam tu.
Mungkin Sonic, mungkin. Tapi Link Eza jawab je.
Mungkin kita dah orang cakap apa tadi? Ada tercakap jawapan ke tadi?
Dah terkantoi dah jawapan dia sebenarnya.
Okey, so anda semua harap macam-macam tak ada apa yang berlaku, okey? Jadi sekarang ini kita match kejap lagi. Todak melawan RSG.
Tapi dekat situ 500 share masuk. Inilah time semua orang untuk ambil kod dekat situ. Lepas tu terus pergi dekat m.mobilelegends.com untuk claim 500 share. Memang mantap lah kita punya audience.
Okay, terima kasih kepada penonton-penonton. Saya pun masih terpinga-pinga lagi tadi. Dia dah nampak 500 share tu. Okey, dia dah tahu jawapan. Level dah bagi tahu. Tunggu apa lagi? Just pergi je lah kan. Alright, so Tania, jadi untuk match kita kejap lagi, Todak melawan RSG. Apa pendapat? Apa expectation lah?
Okey, bila kita cerita pasal Todak dengan RSG, ada beberapa soalan juga yang di mana audience terasa tanya. Nombor satu, macam Ciku tak main, impact dia besar ke tidak? And pada pendapat saya rasa macam walaupun Todak tak ada Ciku kat situ, mereka masih ada Formis, masih ada Moon, and more importantly, diorang ada Momo. Momo masa dekat M3, performance yang sangat bagus, dan bila team nampak macam kalah, Momo sendiri yang cakap, guys, jangan give up, aku dah kuat, kita still boleh fight lagi. So, I rasa walaupun tak ada Ciku, dorang still kuat. Pada pendapat I, Gideon.
I mean, I'm not so stressed about Momo at all. I mean, we saw his performance during M3. As you mentioned, he is that absolute rock. However, I think people have been a little too hypercritical of especially GEEK here. A lot of people have been talking mad smack about it. And personally, I think it's a little unwarranted, but he does have big shoes to fill.
Right, so makna kata walaupun tak ada Ciku, dorang masih lagi boleh berdikari. Sebab untuk season ni kita tak tahu apa yang Todak bakal tunjukkan kat kita. Mungkin ada banyak kejutan. Mungkin Todak betul-betul langgar pada kali ni, kita tak tahu. Dan untuk RSG pula, apa komen Gideon?
Itu gaya mereka lah.
Alright. Jadi jom kita tengok team roster kita untuk Todak punya ni.
Ya, kalau kita tengok Todak punya roster, macam mana yang kita dah bincangkan, masih ada Moon, masih ada Formis dan juga Momo. And Anjit tersurat kat sini, a few issue yang saya nak ketengahkan, di mana saya masih ingat lagi dia punya gameplay pada pertengahan season musim yang lepas, di mana sebenarnya dia punya mekanik pada pendapat saya, okey, dia main ganas. Dia main secara ganas. Yang dia kekurangan adalah dia punya hero pool, sebab saya ingat yang dia majority pakai Roger. Jadi untuk kali ni, kalau Ajib betul-betul menjadi mereka punya jungler, saya nak tengok hero apa yang dia pakai, and boleh ke tak dia follow tempo yang dah disetkan oleh dia punya team. Sebab saya rasa kalau semua orang masih ingat, Todak bila dah turtle tu dah muncul, tiba-tiba dia mengganas.
True, tapi kalau cakap tentang tempo specifically ya, is it going to be Moy or Yums who sets that tempo? And I think it's really important to distinguish the two players here, and especially as one of the more important roles, Yums has been playing a lot more during Season 8 compared to Moy. So I think if this was a time to prove that Moy himself feels better as a player, I think now is a good time to really show everything he is capable of.
Yeah, and again, bila kita cerita pasal ni, Yums, I pun tak sure sama dia main ke tak, because SPM dan sebagainya. But yeah, saya setuju lah, lagi Yums yang kita nampak main kebanyakan masa pada bahagian M3.
Jadi untuk kita punya RSG punya team roster pula, so mungkin ada banyak, Gideon boleh cerita kat saya sikit, sebab saya tengok kat sini kita ada Zanami dan sebagainya. So apa yang menarik perhatian Gideon?
I think for me, obviously RSG has a big shake-up when it comes to the roster. However, they still have their good core members here. TikTok, Izanami, and as well as Zach. Because TikTok is actually going to be playing inside the goal instead of playing that, impressive jungler role, because they are bringing some veterans on their side. For example, Kuza, who has been a staple player here at the MPL.
Ya, RSG dekat sini, I ada berbual dengan Izanami sebelum ni, and dia sendiri cakap dia sebenarnya quite confident dengan dia punya own team, di mana dia suka bermain dengan Kuza, sebab Kuza sebagai jungler macam tak perlu disuruh dia akan main dengan sangat-sangat agresif, tetapi dia juga memuji lagi satu player, Iris, di mana Iris untuk 4 minggu pertama ni dia tak akan main disebabkan RSG punya management decide, you know what, you tak akan main, so kita akan tengok Mortal lalala. Mortal lalala. So mana dia punya performance okey ke tak untuk lawan Formis. Itu yang I nak tengok.
God, stop! Don't look at me that way. Don't look at me
kita
that
kena
way.
tengok Hakim ataupun Kuza. For me Kuza is the better jungler, but kita akan tengok macam mana.
Kita tengok macam mana mereka dalam perlawanan sekejap lagi. Jadi saya tak tahulah soalan ni saya tanya ni betul ke tak. Okey, Alafel, Gideon, okey. Saya ni masih lagi nak orang cakap apa, nak dapat kita rentak tu lagi. Inilah masa kita.
Okey.
Yes.
Pada pendapat RSG dengan Todak, rasanya apa yang akan jadi lagi?
Okay, let's talk about facts. Kita cerita pasal fakta dulu, okay. Di mana Todak, diorang consistent, tetapi bila nak pergi kepada World Championship, sebelum tu diorang atas bawah sebab semua orang kenal Todak sebagai tim yang suka eksperimen, betul. And I rasa Ciku tak ada kat situ, mungkin experimentation tu akan kurang, and RSG dengan kekurangan Iris, I still rasa macam Todak kemungkinan akan menang, tapi macam mana kita cakap, I rasa dia lebih seimbang.
Well, you bring up some really good points, but I think the important thing here is to understand the mentality of what TODAK is trying to achieve. At the end of the day, TODAK is trying to look for the highest heights. They're looking for the big world tournament at the end of the year. We don't know if they're scaling down their goals, and considering that every single time that they've been on stage, that they continuously provide a representation for Malaysia in MLBB in the world tournaments, I think they're not going to lower their standards. Personally, for me, the biggest question is whether or not they're going to be playing at their worst, and I think this week is going to be a good tell because they're quarantined, some of them are sick as well, and if they can still perform despite all of that, that's an impressive win.
Sebab kita tengok banyak halangan yang terjadi untuk pasukan Todak dan kita semua. Jadi saya ambil kesempatan ni untuk bagi tahu kepada semua penonton supaya apa tau, supaya stay safe.
Betul.
Kalau keluar tu pakai mask.
Ini Todak, I pun tak boleh nak bayangkan macam mana diorang main dalam keadaan yang tengah sakit. Sebab Gideon, I tahu kita berdua kita main waktu kita sihat pun macam orang setengah sakit.
Okay, let's not go too far into that. We don't have to talk about our games like that.
M3 kita push, kita menang banyak.
Yeah, true.
Kita siap carry pro player lagi.
That's also true. My brother right there.
Jadi siapa?
Philippine punya pro player. Siapa nama dia? Dia I lupa, tapi dia famous, and the thing is dia sendiri cakap, oh, tak sangka caster pun boleh main.
Tak sangka caster pun boleh main.
Kita pro. Nampak je macam biasa-biasa.
Ada titles.
Dan mana korang dah buktikan yang caster pun boleh main lah.
Betul.
Baik, sekarang ni okey, saya nak bagi tahu sesuatu benda lah. Okay. Todak melawan RSG kejap lagi.
Betul.
Rasanya dia punya match tu akan crispy tak?
Oh ya, akan crispy. Macam nak segue kepada sponsor. Nak cerita sponsor ke ni?
Wah, aku dah lapar sekarang.
Okay, saya tengah nak dapat ni balik, jadi saya nak bagi tahu. Macam tak kena saya bagi tadi. Okay. Baik, jadi kepada anda semua penonton-penonton, jangan lupa untuk MPL Rewards. Jangan lupa untuk belanja RM50 di McDelivery dan dapatkan 6 ketul McNuggets percuma. Bukan itu saja, anda juga berpeluang untuk memenangi skin MLBB eksklusif. Gunakan kod MPL Rewards semasa check out. Nampak tak?
Saya dah professional balik. Dah professional balik. Tadi tiba-tiba terbesin.
Terbesin tadi.
Terbesin sebenarnya.
Turunnya level ni kan.
Baik, so sekarang ni kita rasanya tak sabar, penonton-penonton kat rumah pun rasa dah tak sabar nak mau cakap apa, melihat perlawanan di antara RSG dan Todak. Sekarang kita punya stage dah standby kepada Sif. Jadi kita akan bersama-sama dengan Sif. Jadi 3, 2, 1. Go! Sif, all yours.
Thank you Abeja, Lafel dan juga Gideon. Crispy dia punya tagline sekarang ni, #crispy. Alright, sekarang ni untuk game kita yang seterusnya di antara pasukan Todak dan juga pasukan RSG. Sebelum kita memulakan game kedua pada hari yang pertama, saya dengan ini ingin menjemput head marshal kita, tak lain dan tak bukan Han Seong, untuk bersama-sama dengan saya di atas pentas untuk melakukan coin toss. Tetapi seperti yang ada di dekat pre-show, mereka telah mengatakan pasukan TODAK tidak akan bermain di pentas kerana mereka ada kekurangan dari segi kesihatan, jadi mereka akan main di rumah. Jadi dari segi coin toss telah pun kita lakukan di bahagian big stage untuk memastikan semua ni berjalan dengan lancar. Jadi untuk melihat keputusannya adalah Tails, di mana pasukan RSG yang memilih Tails dan mereka decide untuk melakukan first pick. Terima kasih diucapkan kepada Oh Han Seong kerana sudi menemani saya dekat atas stage ni. Alright, game kita yang kedua, game yang untuk ditunggu-tunggu oleh kedua-dua pasukan dan kesemua peminat pasukan RSG dan juga pasukan TODAK. Adakah pasukan TODAK mampu untuk mendapatkan kemenangan walaupun mereka sekarang ni agak kurang sihat, ataupun pasukan RSG yang berada di atas pentas mampu untuk menewaskan pasukan TODAK? Jadi tanpa membuang masa, caster daripada BM dan juga English telah pun bersiap sedia. Jadi caster, take it away guys.
Thank you so much, Sif, and welcome back once again to MPL MY Season 9. My name is ICBaby12, and joining me to be getting you from the post-show, I would say the pre-show matchup, as we are going to be here to commentate you the next matchup for today. That is going to be between RSG going up against TODAK. And of course, unfortunately to say, TODAK, they are going to be taking a little bit of backseat. They will not be playing for offline for that. But before that, we'd like to shout out our amazing sponsors, our official gaming chair, Secret Lab, Partner in Esports, TikTok Live, Esports Charts, EGG Network, and our co-organizers, ESI. Without these guys, we will not have everything that you guys are seeing up on screen available for you guys. And of course, none other, you have to shout out a bit to Moonton as well. They power through all our needs and all your needs as well as home. But of course, talking about this upcoming match, Gideon, I've heard a rumor that TODAK is feeling a little bit down. What exactly happened?
Yes, it has been confirmed that they will not be playing here at the offline venue. Currently, as we can hear, RSG getting ready to set things up, and they're feeling pumped here, so definitely for something that TODAK needs to keep in mind. They are currently under quarantine, and hopefully they get better in the meantime, but we can't expect too much from them as of right now. We've seen their performance when Moon was sick during Season 8. I would expect the same now with a large majority of their players not feeling too well to not exactly be playing at their tip-top shape.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried as well. This is not a normal sickness though.
Oh no.
It's the endemic, or in this case, pandemic issue, and hopefully they will get better. However, now, I want to talk a little bit more between RSG as well, because if you want to talk about stats as well, with the new integration from Jason from RSG Singapore, for them to actually take over the mantle, actually coach the team, I've heard a little bit rumor as well. It seems like it is very effective. I quote the manager coming from RSG, Ayman. He did mention that they are a little bit more disciplined compared to their previous predecessors.
Well, speaking of their previous predecessors, we're looking at TODAK with a large majority of their members. You know them, you love them. It's going to be Moy, Ajik, Formaze, Moon, as well as Momo for their starting lineup here. And it's exciting to see, because who doesn't love watching Formaze back in the EXP lane?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to see how Formaze play that role. But I'm a little bit worried here, considering that Chiku is no longer going to be playing in the roster. And on top of it all, Ajik, the jungler, which we did catch a glimpse of his action during the previous season, Season 8 as well as Season 7, didn't exactly have the greatest of stats. But I don't know, this is going to be a big shoe he's got to fill in, because this time there's no backup plan to fall to. Remember how the previous season, where if they lose a game, Chiku comes back in.
I think this is going to be a really important season for him, because he needs to grow. And the same can be said about RSG MY, especially adding 2 new members to the lineup, Kuza and as well as Morta Lala here. And it's important to remember, oh, wait a minute, we are seeing a bit of an interesting role. TikTok is going to be the one playing in the EXP lane, Kuza is going to be playing the mid lane, Zakus naturally in the roamer lane, Izanami as their jungler, and Morta Lala in the gold lane.
Yeah, Mortadala is a tier 2 team. Recently, this is pretty much his first debut coming towards MPL MY. And, the question here is always the same thing, right? New players come in, usually they get overwhelmed. In this case, Orange Esports, they kind of felt a little bit overwhelmed the previous series. This time, can he live up to his mantle? Because I've heard rumors as well. Like I said, I'm going to quote the manager from RG again. Their scrims has been doing really, really well from RG. They've played together about 2 months now, even with the guidance of Jason. And they're a little bit more disciplined now. Whereas their okay, like I said, I'm quoting Ayman. According to him, TODAK streams hasn't been doing too well.
Okay, but
surprisingly, right?
Don't say it all here. I think it's important to keep in mind that RSGMY is going to get that, extra bit of veterancy, that extra bit of power with their coach. However, GEEK, on the other hand, he's going to be coached by the one and only Chiku, guys, all right? Chiku has been an outstanding player, and GEEK has huge shoes to fill, and I think this is an extremely important season for him to really learn as much as he can, get that pro player experience here, whether it's good, whether it's bad, strengthen that mental, make sure that he's consistent in his gameplay.
I'm a little bit worried for this year. I think the stats here, the stats don't really lie, right? We have got a team of very dedicated team on the back end as well, providing this kind of stats of each and every single player. And you can see GEEK, he's known for his aggression, but everything else kind of seems a little bit low and balanced out. So is the aggression what we call greeding too much, or is it just going to work in TODAK's favor, considering that they do have the tendency to get very aggressive?
I think it speaks his style. I think the important thing is that GEEK stays true to himself and starts working on his micro and macro to back it out. My biggest problem is the versatility, as you can see by the chart here. He doesn't exactly have the biggest in the world, since a majority of his games last season was on Roger. So hopefully we get to see how much GEEK has grown in the meantime. However, staple player in comparison, Izanami from RSG.
This is a huge change compared to the stats here. It seems like the team seems to be liking Izanami a little bit more, and he has a track record to prove it. Season 7, champion. Season 8, looking pretty good. Season 9 as well this time, hopefully it's going to be better. His micro has been really tip-top. Macro as well. Consistency. Now that you mention it, have we actually seen a game that Izanami has kind of played bad, even though the games they lost?
Not at all. He has been an extremely consistent player. He kind of fulfills that role that Moon does for TODAK, where he is somebody you can rely on. Izanami will not give up on the team, and most importantly, he will not fail to get those results. The biggest problem, I think, is that when it comes down to being on the same page, that's where I'm questioning RSG. Do they have that same chemistry and level of understanding and speak that same language of Mobile Legends through their gameplay that TODAK has?
Yeah, definitely as well. Speaking of RSG, I'm a little bit more curious to see whether or not can they live up to their predecessors, which is also competing as well. Of course, that matchup is going to be another day. But before that, let's take a look at the predictions thus far coming in from all the teams. But it seems like, oh no. I know this is, yo, if you guys are MPL fans, you know what's up. Seems like everybody's voting for TODAK except for Ardeen. And the Castle Curse might be real because, honestly, okay, a little bit inside fact info. None of us actually, knew the info about TODAK before he actually made this prediction. Somehow Ardeen's got it right, man.
Look, Ardeen was doing his traditional Ardeen things before we received the information about TODAK making that announcement literally just yesterday, so a little unfortunate, but looking at the fan predictions, even the fans believe TODAK can still pull this off despite the obstacles that they must face.
Yeah, is this the Chiku buff or is this the GEEK buff?
You're putting a lot of emphasis on GEEK here. Let's not forget.
Dude, he's got a big shoe to fill in.
I feel like people are being way too hypercritical of him. Way too hypercritical. I think if there's anybody you need to be hypercritical on, it's just going to be the pro. It's just going to be like controlling the mid lane with Moy and as well as Moon. Let's see how that plays out. But guys, remember who is helping and making this tournament possible. It's going to be Samsung.
Yep, and of course, if you want to play some Mobile Legends Bang Bang, you can use the brand new smartphone with slick design with MPL Malaysia Season 9's official smartphone, Samsung. You can get awesome gaming experience with the brand new Samsung Galaxy A52s 5G. And it's 5G the speed. Oh my goodness, that is a pretty quick phone.
It is. Wait a minute. Do you see the trend amongst the player cams coming in for the side of TODAK? They did. I remember this. Chiku did it before during M3. Those two little tad bits on their forehead is what gave him the extra bit of strength to pull on. Oh boy, looks like everybody on TODAK is getting on the trend.
They've got the Chiku buff, the Chiku spirit in their covering their mantles, man.
Or, they're going through really bad headaches. One or the other. I'd like to go for the former, the latter rather than the former.
I'm a little bit curious. When are they going to rip their Band-Aid off?
It's not.
We should stop right there. We should stop right there.
Honestly, I think, you know, if they lose game 1, there's just going to be like a double up on it. Some more players are going to have the 2 little bits on. I don't even know what it's called. What's the proper term? You know what? We'll
Band-Aid.
I'm not calling it a Band-Aid. It is not a Band-Aid in any sense of the word. But looking at RSG right now, they're looking...
Look, they've all got Band-Aids.
They all do. They really do. All right, let's jump into the draft here, and it looks like it's already been started. RSG has that first pick on the blue side with TODAK on the red side. But Keto, Esmeralda already banned out. Valentina for the side of TODAK, which quick follow-up on the latest and greatest new heroes, Edith.
Yeah, and you know, I'm looking forward to see how the meta is going to go as well. Considering that the earlier game between SMG as well as Orange, they had a little bit emphasis on certain heroes here. In this case, Glue was one of it. We had Cho, we had the Beatrix still being prioritized as well. But for this case, you know, like Edith was completely kind of ignored in the first phase bans in the previous series until it was pretty much let off until the second phase. So I'm just surprised. TODAK, they just don't want to deal with it apparently.
Yeah, I think they have information to kind of go off, and RSG making a smart choice, getting rid of the glue. The fact that Esmeralda is already gone means that Uranus is going to be the play, and if Formaze gets Uranus, it's like, oh no, he got a really strong hero, but also...
But it's Formaze.
Exactly.
Why would you give Formaze
a boring hero? Yeah.
But he might actually play his Benedetta again.
I hope he does. I'd rather see him play Benedetta and then
you just like Formaze being flashy, isn't it?
Absolutely. I just really don't like Uranus. It's so boring.
Wait a minute. Again? Fanny? What? What's going on? Dude, it's 3 games in a row. First phase bans on Fanny.
Come on, you gotta believe that Fanny is absolutely bonkers right now. It kind of is.
Can every single player play Fanny?
Wait, you're in MPL MY. MY, we're all about Fanny.
It's 9 seasons, and we always have that, you know, highlight factor. Oh, Zorn, the Fanny. You know what I mean? But Zorn's not playing, and I don't know.
Look, the meta has finally shifted into a place where Fanny is actually quite relevant and makes that impact that we're talking about as a jungler in the earlier stages of the game. Not even waiting for level 4. You can make so much happen in a short span of time. Now, RSG have already taken their first pick. They're instantly locking down Selena. I personally like it. I think it's okay. TODAK, on the other hand, replied with the Lancelot as well as the Lilia.
Comfort picks coming from TODAK as well. Ajik does play a lot of Lancelot, but Lilia as a first pick material. This is kind of surprising considering that Yeef is kind of open as well. We did see Yeef bans occasionally, even though it was nerfed, it still seems to be really, really annoying to work with. But maybe, you know, seeing that Selena was the opening pick, they just decided to go for the Lilia instead.
Or TODAK decides, you know what? They want us to play Uranus, I don't like it. So maybe we're going to put this Lancelot on Formaze, move Ajik down into the gold lane, and then Momo is the one who has to play the boring hero.
It's not every day.
Really?
It could be a Sudoku puzzle for all we know, but dude, jumping back over to RSG, Ling, and as well as Matilda. Wow, that's a really harassy style of mid lane.
Okay, they have the Matilda as well as Ling. Seems like RSG, they are going back to something that they're a little bit more comfortable, but this is Kuza we're talking about. Okay, we have not talked about Kuza for a very, very long time. Who is Kuza? He was a former MPL player from previous season under the banner of Iblis, and even though they did not make it into those playoffs, Kuza has been kind of making names throughout the entire MPL as well. Like, he's extremely flashy, even though they're losing games, but he, as a jungler, he has never given up a single time during the entire Season 8.
Yep, solid jungler, all in, not to mention that he is playing on an assassin, so that's interesting to see. The question is what TODAK is going to reply.
Oh,
An easy answer would be like, oh, you got so many dashes, I might as well lock in the Phoveus very early on here since Esmeralda is gone, but instead, they're going to go for the Lolita to try to go for the quick 2-for-1. It's all about projectiles here. Guardian's Bulwark will be able to block the Soul Bloom, as well as the Abyssal Arrows coming in from Selena, as well as the Matilda.
I don't know about this pickup, man. Like, I can see the idea around it, but the question here is that they don't really have a real answer to actually catch this Ling. Lilia isn't exactly the best mage to deal with a Ling. Arguably, you can survive his initial burst, but aside from that, catching him, not so much. Lancelot likewise, Lolita, yeah, you have a stun, but you know, the Tempest Blade is just one click away.
Yeah, but you can instantly force out the Tempest Blade with one click of a stun, and you can hold it and wait for the Tempest Blade to land, and then stun him afterwards. I personally think it's not bad. There's a lot of value in this Lolita, and I think picking it within this rotation, pretty smart idea. They could have gone with the Phoveus if they wanted to, but RSG is going to shut that down straight away, won't let it go. TODAK, on the other hand, get rid of a gold laner here. They've already got their support, so definitely Popo and Koopa not going to see the light of day.
This is a very, very tough one. Popo and Koopa being nerfed, arguably a very annoying marksman in the previous patch, and Ruby is a good ban as well. Yeah, I like it. It just completely annoys the Lancelot. But still, the question here is, what is Momo or Moy gonna play? Is he gonna be forced to play what? A Sylvana / Jawhead or what? But as of now, they're banning out the banner. They're just showing respect that 4-mates may pick it up.
Yeah, they are limiting the options. I think they want TODAK for sure to go for the Uranus pick here.
Forcing 4-mates to play Uranus, man.
I think they can still move it around. That's my biggest issue. The fact that they can move it around is like, that's totally fine with me, but I think RSG has a plan. So far, based on what we learned from the previous matchup, when it comes down to Uranus versus someone like Esmeralda clearly banned here, but using it as an analogy, that it's very hard to keep Uranus under check once he has the items, or if he has developed even a small advantage in lane.
You know, once upon a time, Baxia was a great response against Uranus.
That's the thing. I'm kind of into that answer as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised that, you know, even now people just don't really like Baxia.
Because Baxia is also boring. I also think Baxia is super boring. It's really no fun. It's really no fun to play. But looking here, TODAK is going to first lock in show to kind of have a little bit of a more flexible pick here to see what RSG is first.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a 4-mate show. Like, I don't think this is a tank show. It's definitely a 4-mate show coming from TODAK.
Yeah, I can see that coming as well. I can definitely see that coming. RSG, on the other hand, do they want to pick Uranus up for themselves, or better yet, do they have a better option here to go into the EXP lane? I feel like RSG is going to pick something up like Clint or Beatrix at the very least, but here we go, double lock it. Oh, Lapu and Brody instead.
This is quite worrisome. RSG has pretty much picked up all of, I would say, denied or pick heroes that TODAK are usually comfortable at. In this case, Brody is something that Momo plays really, really well, forcing him to play the Clint. I don't know. I feel like now with TODAK, with Momo forcing to play this Clint, which, I don't know, based on my personal experience, is not a comfort hero for him as compared to his Brody. But what are your thoughts on this?
Look, I think Momo, at this point, he can play whatever he wants, and I'll believe it, because he represented M3, and he was an absolutely stellar player during M3. So I have no doubt that he has some confidence with it. I'm a little bit more concerned of whether or not Lapu is going to have as much impact as we think it's going to. But time and time again, it's that big 50-50. It's either you cash out or you don't cash at all.
Yep, speaking of which here, the drafts has been set coming from TODAK as well as RSG. Can RSG bring their meta in towards the game here, or will TODAK reply with their, I would say, ban-aid buffs here? Because as of now, the drafts are on its way, and this is what you're looking at, and pretty cool animation coming from both this.
Yep, the production value is through the roof, man. I mean, even the splash art are being animated. As we go into the Land of Dawn, it is time for RSG to face up against TODAK.
Yeah, man, TikTok gonna be playing the Brody. Wow, RSG, you know, gonna be switching up the roles compared to the previous season, and I'm looking forward to see how he's gonna be doing this coming from RSG.
I pretty much like it because TikTok has been known to be the more marksman style of player, and he can play both, so that sort of versatility can be useful, and I think this is a very good example of it.
I still remember they actually played him as a jungler tank. They had this Baxia tank.
Whoa, what's up? Wait, hold on, Kuza.
Orange buff.
Did he steal it? No, I have no idea.
He did. No, I have no idea as well.
Okay, I'm assuming that GEEK had to use Retribution really early on because he already it's already on cooldown. Kuza most likely didn't steal it because
Okay, yeah, GEEK has it. Yeah, GEEK has the buff, so it's fine, you know? I definitely agree. That was a very aggressive play from RGMY, a little bit cheeky play, but fortunately for him, he's going to be A-okay.
Personally, I like the style of which Kuza actually decides to go in, abusing his early mobility to actually get that information on GEEK and make him use his Retribution super early on. He's going to get it back later, at the end of the day, but at the very least, if
side lanes had a little bit more pressure, they could threaten to push him off.
Agreed. Meanwhile, nothing happened here. Izanami just playing a little bit slow. He doesn't have an mana, but the arrow comes in, doesn't connect. Moon is going to be A-okay. Pretty close to the 4 as well, as the black shoe is going to be a very, very annoying factor for RSGMY. If they do not burst him enough time, he's going to be able to reset his health.
Yeah, but do they anticipate the movement here? Kuza is actually face-checking these brushes by jumping over him to get the information, knowing that Lilia isn't going to be moving along, so Zakas has, you know, a good place to rotate away. Now Kuza, should be able, oh, he gets stunned, he should be able to get away here, but Formei's wanting to get in on the action, forcing him to use the Blade of Tempest very early on, but he gets hit by the Abyssal Arrow as a quick follow-up from Izanami. Zakas just absorbing damage, playing for the information, some really good moves coming in from RSG, and great responses from TODAK.
Yeah, and as of now, the turtle is going to be up for grabs as well. Mortalala is in the position. Ajik going for the dodge as well. He manages the iframes way through, but a big slap from Mortalala. He gets 1, he gets 2, and that's going to be a double kill from him.
Very, very good moves from RSGMY. They're continuously matching TODAK with their pace, and even Kuza wasn't even there for the fight. He gets kicked away by Formei's here. First Blood Bounty already available, but they are going to be losing their purple buff in no due time.
Wow, objective driven coming from RSG. They perfectly taking advantage of Kuza's flexibility and able to actually punish TODAK, knowing that TODAK has no real answer to deal with this link.
That was lovely. Some lovely, lovely moves. I mean, oh boy. Very risky from TODAK to actually go for the coin flip there on the turtle, especially since he was at pretty much 20% HP. But let's see how they play throughout this stage of the game. Izanami gets attacked by Moi so far, and Moon is very nearby. Here comes the Numenon Blast. Flicker!
Oh!
Just out of range, but he did force out the flicker as well, so that's fine.
That is exactly why Izanami's micro stats was that high. He completely knew where the range was, but the fight is going to continue. RSG, they're looking to re-engage. Moi is going to be A-okay, but seems like TODAK, they will successfully bail out of the situation.
Yeah, Mortalala actually making some very early moves here. Now Formei setting up the trap with Moon in case they can find a potential pick. Mortalala, is he going to get kicked? No. Kuza, he jumps on over. He sees 2 here. This could be a potential rotation from Ajik. They're waiting for him to finish, but now he's going to engage a little bit early here, trying to slow them down. Moon says hello. Doesn't manage to get the steal. Nice job from Kuza, but back again, they're just playing off pressure.
Agreed. This is a very difficult time to beat for side TODAK as well. Moon, he's going to get harassed. He does have the black shoe, but he's going to try and bait out for the team. Unfortunately, the rest of TODAK is not in position to contest this. Ajik is here to save the day, but there's only so much he can do as of yet.
Yep, Moon's very confident. The moment he has black shoes, he's like, I'm going to clear the wave. If anything happens, I still have my Purify. I still have the black shoes. And more importantly, I still have Regenerate if I get chunked down to 50% HP.
Yep, Kuza once again going to be going for the invades once again, but Ajik, oh, he messed up. He did not get the purple buff, and Kuza once again, what a god. He's going to be able to take it for himself. Likewise for the turtle, doesn't even need it. My goodness.
Yep, really nicely done. They're trying to punish here. The Lolita just taking all that damage, finally going down. Kuza capitalizes on the low HP target. Next is going to be Momo that falls. No arrow, but TikTok secures a kill with a quick flicker. And the flick of the wrist, he manages to survive. Good moves coming in from RSGMY. 4-0 as the mid lane, once again getting contested as Moon still has his black shoes here. He hasn't popped it just yet, but the way of the dragon landing on Izanami. Moon with some sweet moves of his own with the black shoes to turn things around, but now he's in trouble. He's got no way to get out. Kuza secures the kill. Can he get a G? But no, Formei saves today with the third hit of G Kundo.
Nicely done here coming from RG as well as TODAK. They finally showed their fangs a little bit, but Kuza is very quick to respond coming from RGMY. They will have the 3k net worth lead. However, this lane is still a big threat. But before that, let's take a look at the itemizations real quick from both sides. RG, he just got his War Axe. Doesn't have a fully upgraded shoe as compared to Kuza is on his progression to his second item.
Yep, I mean, he did get the Demon Hunter Sword, which is significantly cheaper in comparison to something like War Axe. But now, oh wait, Zakas, he might be in trouble. He dashes out of the way, but Moi proceeds to jump on him with the flicker himself. The arrow does land on the correct target, but Ajik trying to get on out of there dies in the meantime. Thanks to Izanami, he does not miss TikTok on the run. But does he get kicked? Yes, he does. Way of the Dragon to help secure TikTok for Moon as they continue to press on their advantage. Mortalala turning it around onto Moon's side. The Purify is not enough with no black shoes to save the day. Izanami follows up on that damage. Mortalala making his statement.
My goodness, Izanami syncing up the arrow as well, making sure that Mortalala goes crazy, and just like that, they win the team fight once again. TODAK this time, they are going to be emphasizing and securing the purple buff for our GEEK, and this time, as you can see, Kuza is also in position to be a little bit sneaky boy, but this time, Mortalala gonna back off and respect this. They are gonna try and secure the turtle for the side of RSGMY first.
And it's important, but I love how RSG is assessing the situation. They have 3 members on top of the turtle, while they still have Izanami rotating to cover Brody's side with these abyssal traps. But Formace finds an opportunity, he kicks TikTok, but TikTok manages to flicker out of position, not under the turret. They get attacked straight away as Ajik tries to get on out there, but manages to get stunned. Well played by TikTok. The arrow doesn't land onto Formace, but he needs to defend this. I think he needs to give this up. Moy cannot do anything. He's charging up. He's going to get hit, instantly canceling the Numenon Blast. Nothing that TODAK can do. The mechanics from RSG is looking sharp as ever.
My goodness, but Momo is there. He's still going to be alive. He does have the damage. Unfortunately, he can't chunk enough people, but Izanami going to be baiting him out into a situation. But RSG, that's going to be it. They are going to go on full retreat. Meanwhile, Mortalala forces the ultimate. He's going in the back lines. That's a little bit too deep, but here, a big catch in the middle. They do catch with both. TODAK is going to be in some trouble. Moon is down. Moy is going to be next. Tempest Blaze comes in, but the tank will survive for now. But they will lose out Moon as well as the middle tier tower.
Oh, what a play coming in from Mortalala. Managing to get a huge ult, lining up the most important characters for the side of TODAK and turning that situation all around despite being in full vision of TODAK.
Yeah, and let's take a look at the quick items here. Mortalala, he's got 3 0 and 3. He's got the Bloodless Axe, and on top of it all, the Brute Frost Breastplate. Looking forward for his War Axe as well. That's going to be a huge major item as well. But Formace, he's going to get caught out. He goes for the kick. Zakas gets caught out, but at the same time, that is only the tank. A big Numenon Blast coming from TODAK. Catches 2. And just like that, RSG, they have to back off. Zakas is going to be next. They're swarming like flies, and they are crazy hungry. And that's going to be a double kill for Ajik. He's looking for the triple. Can he get it? Yes, he will get it. And that's going to be TODAK's reply.
All right, that's great. Now, at the very least, Ajik is catching back up, but Mortalala is going to be clearing off this lane as quickly as possible. Despite 4 members being under the turret, they destroy the turret, and now Mortalala is on the run. Perfect execution lands, puncture through and through, gets the passive off, allowing Momo to chunk him down. Ajik takes another kill.
Whoa. TODAK has been waiting for this moment, and they finally got it. They synced up with Momo, and Momo was able to open things up for Ajik, and just like that, they bounce back, they make the comeback. Ajik was 0-3-1, and now he's 4-3-1. He's got the economy, and he's back for more. However, RSGMY, they've made a little mistake. Can they capitalize on the situation? Meanwhile, Moon, he will get caught out just like that. Moon is going to be taken out of the picture. Moy is going to be next as well as RSG continues with the assault. Kuza is going ham at him. Can he get the double? No, he's a little bit too tanky. Moy will survive. Kuza forced to back off. And just like that, he will retreat. But fortunately for him, they still get Moy.
Oh my goodness, well played to Kuza there, utilizing the full kit of Ling. That is so nasty. It makes sense why everyone was just banning out Kuza's Ling last season, and this is what we've been missing out on. Holy!
Exactly. You know, as of yet, the Lord is going to be secure. Potentially, TODAK is looking for the contest. Formace will get caught out. Zakas is going to annoy the heck out of him. However, the rest of TODAK is just not in position to fight this. Arrow comes in. Ajik might be caught out. He's getting chased down a little bit damage. The Phantom Execution comes in, but he's going to get dived on. Kuza will finish him out. That's going to be the shutdown. However, Kuza is just so strong. TODAK, they're losing members left, right, front, and center. Formace trying his best, but unfortunately, the arrow from Izanami will catch him off guard, and that is going to be 4 men down in hands of TODAK as RSGMY will almost get the team wipe.
I can see why Aimawafe was really confident with his team, man. RSG are looking really good. They're playing so solid together. However, despite this entire interaction going down, Momo still trying to be the hope of the team. Manages to get 2 turrets on the top side of the map, cracking the tier 1 as well as tier 2 in the meantime. He is building up to that 3rd item. He does have Dreadnought armor built just in case Kuza gets on top of him. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough, but it's something.
Yep, I finally understood why Ayman Wafi mentioned he gave me one word about Kuza. King. And this is exactly why it's crazy, but the arrow comes in. Izanami will connect to the Moy. He's going to get caught out, and just like that, he's going to get bursted down, and that's going to be another kill in the hands of RSGMY.
Yep, that's so fast. Moy's already down. Forme is already trying to go for a kick on Izanami, but it doesn't really matter as Izanami has laid out all his abilities on top of him. Formes does not stand a chance, and this should be the game here as RSG are looking to crack open the bases more to Lala. He looks for the big engage on top of a GEEK. Doesn't find it, however, Moon now in some trouble here. Finally, we do see the torn apart memories as Ajik will be the next to fall. Izanami does not miss. Momo will not be able to get on out of there, and even if he did, Kuza already had the nuts as they crack open both inhibitors. They look for the end. Moy can only do so much with the Guardian's Bulwark as they break open the crystal, and they don't care no more. GG, well played. Game number 1 going over to RSGMY.
Well played to RSGMY. What a convincing way to start things off in their regular season, taking game 1 against TODAK, our M3 representatives. And RSG, look at them, they're giving them the dev stare. They know what's up. And RSGMI, with their new addition Kuza, I definitely agree. Ayman, he's definitely looking like a king. But still, it's still too soon to call it a statement.
To make a huge play. And unfortunately for Moy, the first Numenon Blast that actually connected allowed Ajit to get 4 kills under his belt, but he wasn't able to reproduce the exact same thing. There's just so much that disrupts that Numenon Blast from the side of RSG.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from as well. Like, I understand the mechanics that they needed to do, but that 4 kills that Ajit needed, that was pretty much a comeback mechanic, but it wasn't enough to fight 50-50s with RSGMY. Like, they needed one more mistake from RSGMY before they can get a little bit crazy. But unfortunately, they overestimated their prowesses or their timings in that regards.
Well, to be fair, the mechanics coming in from TODAK's side wasn't exactly the cleanest.
Yeah.
It did feel a little bit that Forme's got a little tunnel visioned on a lot of these situations, which he got punished for. And not to mention, even with Moon, he was dying despite having the black shoes up. And as you can tell, like, the team isn't performing at that 100%, but it's a very good look for RSG, solely based on the sheer mechanics that we're seeing and the overall rotational play style that they have.
Yeah, it's just really unfortunate to see TODAK playing like this, but at the same time, you can't exactly blame them considering that their conditions isn't exactly 100%, you know? Like, even if you, if it were me, if I was sick right now,
there's no way.
There's no way I'll be able to commentate it like that. Or even cast right now.
That's fair. A 12-minute and 2-second game here. Let's look at the item build from both sides. And as you can tell from RSG, it's very clear what they were going for. They maximized their damage, hyper-efficient builds here. Nothing too out of the ordinary based on what I can see. Oh, other than the fact that, you know, TikTok didn't greed out. And that's a very important factor here because he did decide to go for the anti-QRS, knowing at any point of time, if Ajik is able to get his first 2 items, and more importantly, if he did get that endless battle, TikTok's life was in heavy danger.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But it seems like the trend is going to continue as well. I did mention this earlier on as well. When we want to pay attention to the junglers as well, Warwick's still a priority. But a lot of the junglers here has kind of shifted in towards the Hunter Strike for second item choice instead of going for like maybe Bloodless Axe, maybe Blade of Despair, maybe, you know, anything else but a Hunter Strike.
I think Endless Battle, I think is subjective
correct.
To the player. Blade of Despair is just unless you're really far ahead and you're super confident with your capabilities. However, Bloodless Axe is just not the way to go for a lot of junglers at this point in time. Arguably, unless you are Paquito or some fighter style that can actually wants to abuse the sustain. But it's just about that raw numbers. It's all about that burst. And that's why a lot of junglers decide, hey, Hunter Strike is the way to go. Unless you are Ling, where the on-hit is actually pretty important as well.
Yeah, speaking of Ling here, you know, going for the Malefic Roar instead, which is kind of, you know, it's a lot of damage. But I feel like, personally, the drafts was a big issue from side of TODAK. And they had no real answer against Kuza. If you think about it from start to end, Kuza was just free reign all the way through. And, you know, truth be told, what can TODAK actually do? Who can actually lock down? Pretty much Cho. Only Lolita and Cho, and which isn't exactly a great answer to deal with a Ling.
Honestly, I think that's more than enough answers. I just feel that TODAK just wasn't playing at their sharpest here. Let's look at the MVP going over to Kuza. Easy, no doubt. I don't think anybody had a doubt in their mind that Kuza did not play a phenomenal game there. You can definitely see his mechanical capabilities throughout that game, and more importantly, the sheer confidence he is playing at.
I definitely agree here. This is the Kuza that I really enjoyed watching in the previous season as well. Unfortunately, they didn't make it that far, but he really stood out for me in the eyes of many people. Even, I think, Ayman kind of told me, had this discussion with me in the previous season as well, and you know, to my surprise, you know what? He actually scouted him. And guess what? He's playing in RSG now.
He's looking really, really good. Look at that match GPM, 969. It's a
That's
lot.
pretty high.
Yeah, it's higher than both games that Lexia played with Team SMG just now. If we keep that in mind, and even arguably the same KD, the only difference is literally like 2 assists half the time.
Okay. You know, the stats don't lie, but it's still too early. You know, we need more matches to kind of tone down the GPM a little bit more, but TODAK isn't playing their best, but at the same time, RSG just played a phenomenal game. So I do not want to take, I do not want to take credit away from RSG, but Kuza definitely played it really, really well.
Yeah, it's good to see them playing with this much confidence. It looks like they're trying to get back on track to their championship road here once again, after a disappointing Season 8, but now they're looking really good. I mean, look at the way they play. Like, okay, we did kind of forget about Mortal Lala here because throughout the early, especially the early and mid game where he decides to get back into that fight, oh my goodness, like how many people are able to actually go in there with such confidence to ensure, not only secure, but initiate the fight for the team, especially when TODAK has so many disengaged mechanics.
No, we talk about Rookie of the Year, you know, Rookie of the Season, etc., right? Like, I feel like Mortal Lala's debut coming in this first game, he really stood out. He played like a veteran on his XP lane, but even though now, okay, it might be a little bit early, but he looks extremely comfortable in game number 1. He was not afraid to actually flex it out, and he's been flexing really hard in his Lapu Lapu. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big fan of Lapu Lapu. You are an amazing, I would say, Lapu Lapu lover, but to see him perform at this level, that was kind of shocking for me.
Okay, just to kind of try and convince you here, he's playing against not only Formaze, a phenomenal player who is probably a little sick and playing a little under the weather. He's playing against Formaze on Cho, and Cho versus, especially when it's a Cho matchup versus someone on a Lapu Lapu, it's not the easiest in the world. You're basically losing your matchup until 4, and arguably even when you're at 4, Cho still beats you.
True. But of course, it is only game 1. It's still early into the regular season. Anything can happen, right? Like, we all know it's a little bit slow. The stats may not... I don't know why I keep bringing it up again, because like Season 7, Season 6, Season 5, Season 4... Okay, no, maybe not Season 4. Season 6, 7, 8. Early of the regular season, our predictions kind of, oh, okay, this is going to be win. And then something happens mid-season. A new patch comes in. Oh, no, nothing works anymore.
Well, that's true.
But it's still early.
It's way too early, but I think for a lot of the cases, and most importantly, at the beginning of the year, a lot of teams like to take it slow. But we're not seeing that to be the case, unfortunately. And especially today, here on Friday, these 2 matches that we're seeing, every team is really taking this seriously from the get-go. They aren't like, you know, I'm just kind of like, it's just the early sense of the early seedings. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like we're going to qualify for M3 after this, but they are looking at it and saying, hey, we do not want to give a bad performance.
Agreed. Like, RSG and SMG, today's game so far has really kind of demonstrated that they are here and they mean business. They want to take a title again. Or in this case, SMG a back-to-back. RSG looking for the second one.
Look, nobody has ever managed to get a back-to-back here in MPL MY. So it's a big ask from Team SMG. But if RSG wants to kind of challenge that, based on that performance, it looks very doable.
Yes, I definitely agree. But of course, it's still early. You know, it's a little bit early. And I'm looking forward to see the metas yet, right? The meta picks. We haven't seen it too much. We know Glue is kind of in the situation where it's priority, but is Fanny still the meta? Is Fanny finally the meta? 3 games, 3 bans, first phase bans in Fanny.
Personally, I think that Fanny brings a lot of early game pressure, doesn't exactly scale that well towards the later stages of the game. There are counterplays against it, but it's something that we could celebrate on here at the MPL MY. And speaking of celebrate, how about celebrate it with Nescafe here? If you're feeling a little tired, you had a long day of work yesterday, and you're finally getting off here today, and you want to stay awake as you are watching these insane games, how about crack open a great mocha, maybe even a latte? Arguably, I would say the latte is pretty decent if you don't want something too sweet. If so, original is the way to go with Nescafe.
No, mocha. Mocha for me, please. Thank you.
Really? I don't know. I feel like mocha is a little too overrated for my taste now.
I don't know.
I've heard too many people say mocha is my favorite flavor. I like mocha more than anything else in the world.
What's your favorite?
I'm
original
really
or
liking
latte?
the original or latte. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like latte.
That's why we can never be friends. We're sitting opposite sides. You're like black and
Why,
I'm gonna be
you
white.
want to like hold hands or something? Is that what you're expecting?
We can't hold hands. We gotta respect the SOP, man.
SOP, bruh. All right, now let's have a quick recap of that previous game here. So far, it's 1-0. If you're just tuning in, RSG is on the rise here. One game against TODAK so far, who aren't exactly playing their best. And you can see from the previous matchup, damage dealt, that there is just a huge mountain on the side of RSG. However, TODAK, Moon in particular, and as well as Momo, are still holding on despite not playing their best.
Yeah, and I feel like based on the damage output-wise, it wasn't a big dip compared to how SMG and Orange did. But it feels like the damage output was okay. But personally, I still think the draft was a very, very big issue from TODAK. On top of the condition, knowing that TODAK has the experience/capabilities to kind of flex out whatever drafts during regular season. And we know, once upon a time, Layla, arguably one of the worst tiered hero. Mia, arguably one of the worst tiered hero in MPL history, played by TODAK, and they won both games.
And your point is?
They're just sick, that's all.
I mean, you're expecting a lot out of them, and you're only talking about literally just Chiku. You're forgetting that Chiku isn't playing this time around. He's taking a break. He's taking a break from this.
It's a team effort.
Look, Chiku does not equal TODAK. All 5 members equal TODAK.
It's a team effort.
It is technically, yes, it is a team effort, but now we're
I'm surprised you actually got the message, but yeah.
Let's have a look at the upcoming draft here for the second match of this day. TODAK, once again, going to be on first pick with the blue side and RSG on the red side, instantly banning out the Fanny. RSG reply, getting rid of Valentina. I'm really sad. I really hope to see some new heroes. Like
sometimes I wonder what would Ajit Motosika say if he was here this season.
Look, if Ajit Motosika was here, he would not be happy. That's for sure. That's for sure. He's gonna be rubbing it with a lot of shoulders on his way in.
But of course, now coming in towards this fourth game today, in the I would say the fourth match in the regular season here for MPL MY Season 9. Fanny gonna be in the first phase bans all the way through. That is a 100% ban rate thus far in the first phase. 4 games in a row. Seriously. Really?
4 games within the first phase. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 4 games in a row.
I thought you said first pick there. My bad. Anyways.
It was never picked. It's all banned.
Yeah, it has been all banned, but I'm really hoping that Edith doesn't get banned here. I do want to see when somebody actually utilize Edith and really show its capabilities on a professional stage. Wow, they are getting rid of all the assassins here. They are targeting Kuza.
You know, this kind of happened in the previous season, right? Like, whenever any other team kind of plays against Iblis in season 8, everyone just bans off Kuza's hero. His Link, his Hayabusa was really, really strong. But little did they know, he is a pretty strong Roger player. However, Roger did kind of get a little bit nerfed, not overall in his heroes, but his utilities that he, the equipment that he needs to use, such as the killing spree, has been nerfed significantly. And I'm not gonna lie, Roger heavily depends on executions and kills to actually win his team fights.
Yep. Now the question is whether it's going to be picked up this time around. There still are a good number of heroes that are floating around in the pool. Lancelot being one of them. Paquito being another one, finally getting let through in the ban phase. Do they really want it? I'm not entirely sure, but it looks like Paquito going to be the first pick here, coming in from TODAK. That definitely looks like a 4-maze pick, or maybe arguably for Momo as well. We don't know until later on into the draft.
Did TikTok play Benedetta in the previous season? Like, if I do recall, TikTok played jungle fighters. Yeah, Baxia jungle. He only played that, right? Like, I think he played Barat as well.
Yeah, he played Barat. He also played Baxia jungle as well.
So I'm surprised for him to actually play a gold lane. His, his Brody wasn't exactly flashy, but he was doing the right things in game 1.
Oh yeah, he was canceling a lot of non-blasts. He was making sure that, even Ajik was having a hard time getting off his perfect execution.
He cancelled the Numerum loss. He actually caught Ajik trying to go for the Phantom execution, which was really sick though. His timing has been really spot on.
Well, hopefully we won't necessarily see that again, but arguably with Momo playing, we could see another Brody pick up here for TODAK. Now, 2 picks coming in from RSG. It's going to be Lancelot as well as is the Matilda this time round, which does mean that TODAK does have an option to open up the Mages straight away, but instead he's going to go with Kufra to try and deny that space and dashes, as well as locking in Clint very, very early on.
Yeah, so I'm guessing this is going to be the Zakos Matilda again, and that's going to be Kuza playing the Lancelot for sure. But a Kufra pickup coming from TODAK. Yeah, this was a hero that I want to talk about in game number 1. Kufra is going to be an okay answer against the Link, but no, this time they are going to be picking it up for themselves and the Clint as well. So comfort picks coming from TODAK, nothing too crazy yet. I guess they're saving up RG's heroes potentially, but I don't know. Wait. Is this the jungle Pokito again? Are we going to see this back to Season 8?
Potentially, really depends on what these next upcoming bans are. I'm more surprised about the Kadita pick within first rotation. I think that's kind of interesting here. It's
one-shot combo. Let's go. Johnson Kadita. No, not happening.
No,
it's a troll pick.
I don't think...
But it works though.
Your team is banned.
Sure, but I can't figure out the reasoning why they would want to pick this up now rather than later. Or more importantly, so since there are so many different mage options, like Farsa is still available, Yves is still available, why not go for either one of the artillery mages? If you're looking for more burst, I mean, you could look for something like, you know, scaling, Lunox, arguably going even for Kagura as a super safe mage pick.
I can see where you're getting at, but at the same time, think about it this way from an objective standpoint, right?
Okay.
Lancelot is a diving hero. With the assistance of Matilda, basically you can kind of go in and out. And you've got a Kadita as well. Basically, this is a full frontline composition where you just want to burst somebody down and just back out. That's going to be the idea coming for these 3 opening picks coming from RG.
But then you might as well get something like, I don't know, Lunox as well that scales just as nicely. I don't know, maybe it could be a personal preference here for someone like, you know, Izanami to actually pull off. We'll see how that actually plays out. Kagura going to be the ban as well as the Yishin Shin. TODAK, they've already banned, they're starting to ban out the gold laners. They've already gotten rid of the Popo and Kupal. They're also going to get rid of the Brody here because they've already locked in the Clint. So I think that only leaves Beatrix left.
Yeah, I think Claude is also going to be potentially up for grabs, even though it was buffed. But I don't know if RG is going to be picking it up here. Considering that, I think TikTok can kind of play one game as well. I remember Ajik does play it before, but I don't think they will play a jungle Claude from TODAK. But RG, like you said as well, Beatrix is going to be the go-to.
Oh, they've already denied so many picks from TODAK. I was thinking that maybe if TODAK wanted to get anything, they probably want to get something like Beatrix, for an example. But I think now this kind of forces TODAK to either go Natan?
I feel like they're going to force, you know, RG is like, hey, you know what? I don't mind you playing jungle Pokito, just play it. Just play it. I think they just want to ban off all of Ajik's heroes. If you think about it, Yishu's been banned off. What else can Ajik play?
I
know he can play Claude, but I don't think Claude's pretty good from TODAK right now.
It's a tough call. It's a really tough call. They can go for something like Benedetta if they really wanted to.
Oh yeah, Bene jungle, right?
Yeah, but it looks like they're gonna stick with the Roger, but also this time go for the Veil. Huh. I guess they want to be able to combo well with Moi on the Kufra, which is understandable because that tornado is really, really nasty. And I think for a lot of players nowadays, they basically go for the CC wind blow, and then after that they go full damage on his tornado.
I definitely like the Veil pickup. Like, I know for a fact that TODAK right now, they need to rely on Moon carrying the game. And in this case, you know, compared to Lilia isn't exactly hard-hitting and bursty. In this case, you know, having this Veil here is going to help them, I would say, help the overall team where Moon can actually shine a little bit more to make a little bit more space for Ajik to actually go crazy. So I like the idea of this Veil pickup, and RG currently, they don't exactly have an answer. Even Kadita's Rough Winds can't exactly deal with this, considering that once you get chain combo from Will, you're gone, you're deleted.
Well, I don't know what you've been eating this morning, but I don't think so. Because I feel like at the end of the day, there are just better mage options out there. And right now, even if you do go for someone like Veil, there is no guarantee that you are going to be able to hit those abilities. So why not get something more reliable like Agura, which got banned, something like Farsa, which you can just dish out the damage very quickly. Or if you want to dodge abilities, just get Lunox. Like, there are other options here. I feel like TODAK is playing more comfort, knowing that they are not playing at their best. So they require something a little less mechanically heavy to allow, alleviate some of the weight on their brain.
You know, it's funny, right? When we talk about TODAK, they're not playing extremely mechanical this time. But of course, all things considered, they are the pros. They are here to play, to win. Hopefully, they will be able to bounce back after the devastating Game 1 loss against RSG MY. But the drafts has been set, coming in from both RSG as well as TODAK, as we are heading into the Land of Dawn with a very, very unique draft coming from TODAK. And seeing how the double marksman combos, I would say the double core composition coming from TODAK alongside with Moon's Veil. Can he open up the same game to actually deal with RSGMY, or will RSGMY, the so-called King Kuza, will he be able to run rampant against TODAK and ring around roses? Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be Game 2 against TODAK versus RSGMY.
Ooh, this is going to be a game here. Let's see how they're going to play this out. As we see Moi immediately looking to try and trade well against Izanami. He will be able to heal up with the help of Zakus. Heal up with his own passive to get the extra bit of damage as long as he trades, so it's pretty much fine for him. And he also has Regenerate, which is great, but now they contest for the Lethal Wanderer, instantly giving it over to Kuza. Mortalala here to say hello, just in case. RSG, slight lead, but so far, I want to see whether TODAK is going to force this play, especially since Momo is on Kufra. There's no reason for him not to.
Agreed, but now here he comes. Moi gets the stun onto his Izanami, but he's going to be okay. Moi, gonna be catch up as well. TODAK, they are going to be playing a little bit safe. Wait until Moon hits his 4 before they go a little bit crazy. But as of yet, nothing crazy is happening. RSG, Mortalala, doing pretty okay against 4Maze, considering that he's winning his lanes and XP against 4Maze.
I mean, to be fair, Paquito into Esmeralda is not exactly the most fun matchup in the world. I mean, Esmeralda pretty much just out-sustains through all the damage, especially since that, Paquito has been receiving a good amount of nerfs, which was definitely needed, but also feels bad to all the EXP laners out there who liked playing him. Anyways, looking at the top side, TikTok up against Momo. In this matchup, it's a lot more different, right? It's whether you can land Renner in comparison to Momo, who gets guaranteed damage with the quick draw.
Yeah, and Kuza now looking to get a little bit aggressive. He's hit his 4, but nothing crazy yet. Mortalala going to be hunting the lane as well. Likewise, coming in from 4Maze, but 4Maze is going to be able to recall back in time before actually getting caught out. So that's a little bit space created, a pressure taken away from the other lanes from the side of TODAK. Meanwhile, here comes Moi.
Yep, he's really deep in there, but he will be able to sustain throughout that damage until Mortalala goes deep into the enemy lines. However, we're already seeing the quick turnaround for the side of RSGMY, getting a quick double kill. Kuza did not hesitate to go in there. Izanami might be able to pick up another kill, but 4Maze forced the flicker away. They get Turtle. They're also going to get the Bugbear down onto the enemy's orange side jungle. Well done for RSG.
That was a really sick catch coming from Izanami as well. Petrify and also the second skill catching almost most of the members coming from TODAK on the outer edge of the circle. That was sick. However, First Blood Bounty is on its way. Redeem this code right now while making your McDelivery purchases here and get yourself free 6 McNuggets.
Yeah, you're going to need as many of those nuggets as possible here because these games are not going to stop just yet. The excitement has only begun. Moi once again looking for potential engagements, but so far RSG have the pattern down on how TODAK wants to rotate and play throughout this game. They're going to allow Moi to engage, and as long as they have dibs on where he is exactly, he's fine. Oh wait, Zakus.
Oh Moi.
No, he's fine.
He Tyrant's Reach?
No, there's no need to. They weren't going to secure the kill anyways, and more importantly, I think there was no way for them to guarantee he kills because Zakus still has Flicker.
Yeah, true. But still, I was surprised. I was expecting maybe they would have actually made the play to try and catch him and then potentially kill him all, but yeah, all right. However, TODAK seems like they're not getting any sort of kills yet. Ajik does have his 5. However, Kuza is in the vicinity and he's level 7, close to level 8. As compared to Ajik, he's going to be struggling here. Here comes the catch from Moon, but Moi is going to get caught out. And just like that, RSGMY is going to chunk him down. Moon is going to be the next as well as Izanami takes him out.
Yep, just miscoordination. They're coming in from TODAK's side. They knew Kuza was going to be there. Kuza patiently waited for Moi to get out of that bouncing ball form, and he knew he can guarantee that kill. Most importantly, he saw the wind blow as well coming out from the side of Moon, so he almost guaranteed they had no answers to when he jumped in. So well done for the side of RSGMY.
Agreed. Meanwhile, 4Maze is going to try and make a play here. Meanwhile, he's going to get caught out in the hands of RSGMY. Not exactly sure what he was thinking. But just like that, RSGMY, they will get full control of the Turtle Beat, and likewise, potentially even more, because here comes Izanami. He's going to catch out Moon. Here comes the Tyrant here to stop them in the track. Moon going to try and salvage the situation, but he will take down Izanami. Zakus, however, going to be a little bit desperate. Unfortunately for him, he's going to get the kill, but at the expense of potentially his life, and that's going to be Ajik taking him down. Mortalala is there, but Moi is there to provide the assistance. But Sid, Mortalala, I don't care. I'm going to get more. Here comes Nibiru coming in from TikTok, but he's going to get focused down by 4Maze as well as Momo on the sides.
Oh man, that was a very poor line of play from either side. A little unfortunate for the side of RSG, a little bit more for sure. But at the end of the day, TODAK received a hefty amount of damage, but this does help at the very least for GEEK to start that snowball going. He's got that kill, he's feeling good, but Kuza 2 levels above him so far. He needs to close that gap somehow.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But as of yet, TODAK, they managed to actually salvage the fight despite, a little bit of a struggling performance. However, Moon is still at the top of his game. Meanwhile, TODAK, they are going to try and wait things out. Kuza's level 10, but seems like he's going to try and take a jab at Moi potentially, but it's only a tank. They've got a bigger picture to fry. In this case, looks like Momo will get scouted out as Kuza is going to go for the play, but the catch coming from Moon from the sides almost gets the one-shot. Kuza is got to make a run for it. Watching for him is going to be A-OK. Moi, however, will be caught out. Here comes the Nibiru from TikTok doing some serious damage. TODAK, they're forced to back up. A triple kill for TikTok. He's looking for more. GEEK needs to back the heck out, but just like that, they do not want to risk it coming from RSG MY as they will focus on the turret instead. Wow, what a play from RSG MY.
I like the idea that TODAK had to start that initial fight, but my goodness, was it a big turnaround for RSG MY. Kuza timed his Thorn Rose perfectly to get out of there with a sliver of health, and most importantly, TikTok ready to respond to save his teammates. Well done for RSG MY. TODAK, as you can see clearly, aren't exactly playing their A game here. The follow-up coming in from TODAK's side after the fact that they failed the initial one-shot in the 2v1 against Kuza. Just, you can see that they're just slipping away.
Agreed. Meanwhile, on the bottom side as well, we do see Esmeralda Mortalala gonna try in a very, very difficult situation. He's gonna get caught out on the bottom side, but somehow he will survive as the rest of TODAK completely focuses his attention. Meanwhile, the turtle completely ignored for RSGMY. But with that play right there, they shift their focus on towards the purple buff instead. Moi goes in for the sense. He catches dude. Tyrant's Rage comes in, but where's the follower from TODAK? They are not quick to respond, and RSGMY will take him down very quickly.
Yep, GEEK is probably going to be the next to fall. He does utilize the iframes really well with the Lycan Pounce on top of Zakas to dodge the initial falling star move. Really nicely done, but Kuza, he ain't done himself. Dives deep to push them and stop the recalls as they want to crack open this tier 2, but they don't have enough damage just yet or enough minions, so now they have to go and start pushing, clear up their own jungles, clear up their lanes, take away this turtle, secure the neutral objectives.
Oh, Forme is trying his best here to try and cut the creep waves. Unfortunately, will get scouted out by the Esmeralda. Meanwhile, the turtle will be secured from RSGMY. Objective driven. Moi will get caught out, and that's going to be him bursting him, getting bursted down from RSGMY.
Oh, another turtle slain here. RSG continuing to rack up their snowball with a 7.7k goal lead. Izanami also getting a lightning truncheon. He will be able to one-shot anybody who doesn't have any form of magic resist. So, if you look at the items right now, the only people who have magic resist at this point of time is going to be Moi and only Moi.
That's not going to be enough here. He needs a little bit more. However, Kuza going to be flexing his level 13 as compared to GEEK is only level 9. My goodness, that's a huge difference right there.
Yeah, I mean, they've lost the side lanes, unfortunately. Formace couldn't really do much against the Esmeralda, and more importantly, the jungle just lost pressure as soon as mid lane had no abilities to go off, and now they're going to punish Moi once again. The wind blow doesn't connect. Mortalala unfortunately misses, forcing Zakas to back away, but Kuza says, no, I might be able to scavenge one. Unfortunately, only puts him down to lethal damage.
Agreed. Meanwhile, the purple buff will be secured away from TODAK as RSGMY takes it. Middle turret is going to be up for grabs as well, but the fight comes in. GEEK taking a little bit too much damage, but here comes the rocket from TikTok. Ooh, Moom almost getting bursted out, but Kuza is looking to get a little bit greedy, but seems like RSG has their discipline installed as they back off and respect this.
Dang, Bennett's rage really hurts. He only got clipped for like the edge of it, and that was more than enough. TikTok, he's got that mid-game damage that we were all waiting for, and at this point, Kuza basically can 1v1 anybody from the side of TODAK. He just wants to maximize his damage, but here we go. Moi actually finding an opportunity with Formace, but falls back.
No, whoa!
Hero's Passion, Breath of the Ocean, and Rough Waves allowing Izanami to absolutely blow them apart.
It was a trap. RSG baits him out, lures him in the trap, and completely gobbles up TODAK and spit him out as GEEK and MOI is down. Can the rest of TODAK defend against this? Formace is trying his best. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough in the hands of RSGMY as it completely takes him out very, very easily.
Yep, they've already cracked open with an 11k gold lead. That's pretty much GG. There's nothing much you can do unless RSGMY makes a mistake, or if TODAK can hold out for the next 7 minutes of the game. And even then, there is no guarantee. They have no control over the map. The Lord is in the hands of RSGMY, and they are looking for that killing blow.
Oh my goodness, the caster's curse is real, Gideon. The caster's curse is real. The Lord has been slayed, courtesy of Samsung Galaxy. However, the fight will continue. As you can see, the purple buff will once again be secured by Kusa. However, Mortal Lala diving a little bit too deep. He's taking a little bit too much damage, but he's so tanky. Kusa waiting for the right moment to pounce. Unfortunately, well, TODAK's not giving in, but Mortal Lala, whew, so tanky.
I think he's just abused the fact that he's Esmeralda. I think he's got more than enough items to absolutely just 1v4 TODAK at this point of time. TODAK's just way too far behind at this point. They don't have any true damage to actually get through the armor, and they're just sheer amount of shields coming in from Mortal Lala. So at this point, RSGMY is just baiting the inevitable here. They're syncing up the waves. It is time to strike.
Agreed. Meanwhile, the Lord is going to be coming in. TODAK, they have to troll all their bodies here. TikTok still going to be holding on to his Nibiru passion perhaps, but now with the Lord coming in, what is TODAK going to do? Seems like they can't actually do too much, but here comes the rock as they connect on the tree. And just like that, one-click delete, they're all gone. My goodness, RSGMY finds the perfect catch, and TODAK, they can't do anything about this. And just like that, RSGMY, they close up a clean 2-0 against TODAK.
What a sick play here. Mortal Lala initiates, and immediately Izanami follows up with a sick Petrify and a 4-man Rough Waves. Holy, what a good game we just saw there. Well done for RSGMY.
My goodness, what a performance coming from RSGMY. But before that, thank you so much for watching. But before that, we are going to be jumping into a mic check with RSGMY.
Mati dah. Ada ti dah. Tengok. Nice. Kena. Fight dia, fight. Catat lagi. Kena hero. Nice. Boleh dapat weapon tu. Tahu. Mati dah. Ni miss. Sumpah. Aku mati. Follow aku. Bunuh. N. Poking. Yang aku ada ulti saya. Awal ni dia buang nyawa. Boleh ni, Ir. Tengok Ir. Nice. Pam. Ada lagi ke? Nice. Santai lu bang. Boleh tak? Aku baik. Mantap. Oi. Kejar. 2 second aku tarik. Aku dah tolak doh. Ir aku datang, Ir. Nice. Tu. Nice. Mati ni. Boleh tu ni. Tahu. Lot, jom. Dapat tahu ni. Ya. Aku dah zoning. Gas.
Wow, hari pertama kita dah melihat satu kejutan yang cukup menarik ditunjukkan oleh pasukan RSG sendiri. Anda sekarang bersama saya, Sid, dan juga salah seorang pemain daripada pasukan RSG iaitu Izanami sendiri, pemain yang berjaya untuk menewaskan pasukan TODAK. Izanami, boleh tak kongsikan dekat kita orang semua peminat-peminat RSG dekat luar sana, apakah faktor utama kemenangan pasukan RSG terhadap pasukan TODAK?
Faktor utama dia adalah kami memang season ni kami cuba untuk try hard lah. Sebab season lalu kami lose streak lah. Jadi season ni kami cuba bersungguh-sungguh lah untuk perform season ni.
Alright, satu jawapan yang baik. Tapi game sebentar tadi 2-0, kemenangan yang cukup baik terhadap pasukan TODAK, naib juara untuk MPL Malaysia musim yang ke-8. Jadi kalau kita melihat sekarang pasukan RSG, bukan sahaja daripada pasukan Orange saja yang mempunyai roster yang terbaru, malah RSG juga dengan penampilan Motalalala, TikTok dan juga Kuza daripada pasukan Iblis kembali ke dalam pasukan RSG. Jadi adakah chemistry ini sudah kekal ataupun pasukan RSG yakin boleh tingkat lagi?
Saya yakin boleh tingkatkan lagi lah.
Alright. Sekarang ni macam mana kalau tengok untuk game yang pertama, pencapaian Kuza setakat ini bermain dengan cukup baik game pertama dan juga game yang kedua. Jadi adakah pasukan RSG rasa ini jungler yang terbaik setakat ini?
Bagi saya Kuza ni dia mungkin akan jadi jungle yang terbaik kat season ni sebab dia memang bersungguh-sungguh lah main. Dan saya yakinlah dia boleh jadi jungle yang terbaik season 9.
Yes. Terbaik, satu jawapan yang baik. Sekarang satu permulaan yang cukup positif untuk pasukan RSG berjaya menewaskan pasukan TODAK. Walaupun kita dapat saksikan ramai orang kat luar menjagakan pasukan TODAK yang akan berjaya menewaskan pasukan RSG, tetapi RSG menunjukkan sebenarnya siapa pasukan yang terkuat untuk dalam grup mereka sendiri. Jadi soalan terakhir saya kepada Izanami sebelum untuk lepak bersama pemain RSG celebrate kemenangan, apakah kata-kata kepada penyokong RSG sendiri yang melihat detik bersejarah pasukan RSG menewaskan pasukan TODAK?
Kepada penyokong-penyokong kami, saya amat berterima kasih lah sebab masih menyokong kami lah, dan teruskan sokong kami lah.
Jadi terima kasih diucapkan kepada Izanami. Sekali lagi saya ingin mengucapkan congratulations dan tahniah. Dan tapi seperti biasa, sebelum kita mengakhiri segmen kita pada hari ini, kami akan terus pergi kepada Lafel, Jas Suzuran dan juga Gideon. Come on guys, it's your time.
Selamat kembali bersama dengan saya Jas Suzuran di live MPL Malaysia musim ke-9 dikuasai oleh Munton, dipersembahkan oleh McDelivery bersama dengan telefon pintar rasmi Samsung dan diraikan bersama dengan Nescafe. Kita masih lagi bersama dengan Lafel dan juga Gideon. Okay, sebelum kita cakap lebih tentang perlawanan tadi, okey, Lafel dan Gideon, okey, kita sekarang dah hit 800 share milestone. Serius ah? Jadi dengan ini kita ada Q&A untuk kita punya penonton, di mana soalan dia, alright?
Ya, ini siapa? Okay, first of all, kita punya audience memang the best. 800 milestone dah hit. So pastikan korang ambil kod kat bahagian bawah tu, pergi ke m.mobilelegends.com untuk claim korang punya hadiah. You guys deserve it.
Baik. So untuk kita punya Q&A punya soalan masih sama lagi.
Masih.
Alright. So pemain manakah yang dinobatkan sebagai best rookie MPL MY musim yang ke-8? Okay, A. Ling Eza, B. Sonic, C. Iris. Jadi untuk anda yang tahu tentang jawapan ni, boleh masukkan dalam laman web tertera di bawah. Alright. So hint dia. Tadi kita dah tanya lah Fel hint tadi kan.
Yeah.
Okay, Gideon, cuba bagi hint lah sikit untuk soalan kita ni.
Ooh, well, this player used to play for Orange, and there's only a couple of players here that play for Orange, so maybe you can figure it out from there.
Ling Eza.
Okay. Dah dapat?
Ling Eza.
Ya. Baik. Ya.
Kita jangan lebih. Nanti audience takut pula.
Okey, baik. Jadi kita dah settlekan so jangan lupa untuk masukkan. Jadi sekarang ni Lafel dan juga Gideon, kita nak cakap tentang match tadi macam mana.
Okay, untuk match tadi, I akan channel I punya inner netizen. I akan berbual macam netizen kejap. Nombor 1, again, I dah cakap, Gideon, I nak you acknowledge yang I dah cakap dulu, di mana pasukan TODAK lepas World Championship memang diorang akan drop.
Ya.
Itu nombor 1. Terima kasih banyak. And dekat dalam game tadi, ini yang I punya inner netizen. Banyak kali bila kita tengok Moy, ada beberapa kali juga Formis, kenapa diorang masuk macam Moy bila dia menggunakan Kufra, dia engage, tapi dia engage, kenapa? It's like dia masuk, lepas tu team dia macam kita tak nak fight pun, jadi kenapa pergi ke depan? So I don't know, diorang banyak kali buat unnecessary move lah, Gideon.
I feel like in situations like this, as you mentioned, yes, it's unnecessary moves, but it's demam vision, you know, a bit of fever, you kind of see things, and obviously the performance wasn't the greatest. As you can see by the gold alone, there is just such a huge difference.
Ya, saya tengok tadi kan, kita punya BM Casters diorang pun cakap cuba pejam mata and then tengok berapa banyak goal difference. Kena buka mata lah lepas tu kan. Lepas tu bila tengok 12,000 goal difference, memang sangat-sangat besar. 4 kill berbalas dengan 20. And bila kita tengok itemization, it's like it doesn't even matter. Sebab kalau kita tengok Kuza yang menggunakan Lancelot 10,000 goal berbalas dengan Ajik dekat sini yang 6,000 sahaja. Walaupun dia ada Roger, sepatutnya kita tengok Roger yang akan lebih agresif pada bahagian awal game, and then Kufra dia boleh tolong set up kan, Momo yang menggunakan clean, patutnya early aggression pun lagi tinggi. Tapi kat mana-mana link kita tengok RSG MY diorang menang semua.
I mean, we already know that TODAK wasn't going to be playing at their 100%. However, when we're looking at people, especially Formays and especially Moy as well, both of them are still playing as if, they feel like 100%, but clearly the mechanics are not as sharp as they used to be. You can tell that Moon actually had to take a step back. Why is he picking Vale? Out of all the heroes out there, there are a lot of reliable mages which could have done a much better job. Eve, there are so many top-tier mages, but instead he chose Vale to say, hey, I want, less stress on my brain, don't want to focus on my mechanics too much. If I hit an ability, I hit an ability.
Ya, rasanya dekat sini diorang kena tambah lagi diorang punya koyo sebab so far cuma one for each side. Ini kena tambah dalam 2-3. Tapi yang I interested nak tengok kat sini Gideon adalah diorang punya damage numbers. And damage numbers dekat sini, first of all, kita nak kena bagi recognition Rich Guy kepada Kuza. 904 goal per minute, kurang sedikit daripada dia punya game yang dia menggunakan Link, but still very, very impressive. The carry 44,000 dekat situ, di mana TikTok menggunakan Beatrix dapat keluarkan quite a lot of damage. And then Sandbag Moy 94,000 damage yang dia terima, dan Forgotten One Zakus berjaya untuk dapatkan 16 total assist.
Yeah, I think, overall, yes, we can say that TODAK, we can keep just repeating and ripping on them, but they aren't feeling their best, and it's definitely forgivable for especially a first week performance. More importantly, I do want to commend RSG and MY S9, and especially Kuza having a really great performance overall. Just for comparison, for both of these games, despite how much of a landslide it is, his GPM is generally higher than Lexia in the previous matchup in both of his games when he was playing with Team SMG. If that doesn't give you any much of a comparison, it just means that somehow Kuza is more efficient with his gold, and better yet, is able to attain more of it in a shorter period of time.
Ya, nampak macam Kuza dia ada hidden buff di mana dia boleh generate minion yang lebih.
Ada compound interest.
Yeah. So I tak tahu macam mana Kuza dapat cari goal dekat map, tapi memang performance yang hebat, and I rasa kepada semua fans RSG MY yang tengah tengok, diorang mungkin risau macam, ini bukan kita punya normal roster, tapi roster yang baru ni tetap kuat.
Betul. Jadi sekarang jom kita tengok MVP kita untuk match tadi. Itu dia, Zakus 3116, Rafael.
95%. Kill participation 95%, sangat-sangat tinggi. And pada game pertama, Zakus punya performance dengan Matilda memang sangat hebat. Lepas tu bila kita tengok masa diorang tengah draft, Zakus semua macam gelak-gelak. Matilda diorang lepas lagi. Give me. I tunjuk kenapa I punya Matilda patut di ban.
I think it's great because, Zakus beforehand, he used to be known as a pure tank player. He can only play hard tanks. He doesn't play these enchanter types, and now he's picking up things like Matilda and being a little bit more effective. The 95% out of the 20 kills means that he only missed out on one fight, and I think that's just like a 1v1 that happened elsewhere across the map. I'm not even entirely sure, but Zakus was a part of every single play in that game.
Ya, memang sangat hebat, and Zakus really deserve lagi sebab Zakus is antara roamer yang ramai orang suka tengok, because macam mana you cerita tadi, hard tank, kita dah jarang nampak all of these hard tanks bermain, and Zakus dia dah evolve yang menunjukkan that it really doesn't matter apa yang dia pakai, dia still boleh membawa impact yang besar kat dalam game. Sekarang bila kita tengok pada bahagian highlight, kita akan tengok mistake daripada TODAK dan juga apa yang RJMY lakukan, di mana TODAK beberapa kali diorang masuk, it's a big mistake pada pendapat and then RJ macam, you seorang kat depan, well, Kuza nak kill, so Kuza pergi depan and then dapatkan kill.
I think we can also commend RSG, and especially for their new coach, Jason, Jason Cole, coming in from Singapore to help the team out. You can see how much more disciplined. I think this is one of the few moments that we actually see RSG not be disciplined, but right here, immediately looking to actually get out of the play, waiting for the right opportunities to get back into the fight. They play off of Kuza. TikTok is communicating really, really well, but Zakus at any point of time could have been using his abilities so much earlier, but he is just waiting and patiently working together with the team, rather than what he used to be before is engage first, think about it later.
Lagi satu, diorang punya perbezaan gol terlampau besar, so it kinda doesn't matter, dia boleh main slow-slow.
Jadi sekarang kita tengok kedudukan kumpulan untuk grup B, RSG. Wah, nampak? Macam saya cakap tadi lah, 2-0, of course lah kita dapat orang cakap permulaan sangat baik untuk RSG MY.
Ya, dekat sini saya rasa dia ada buff yang hujung-hujung dia G. SMG 2-0, very confident. RSG, well ada MY, but kita bayangkan MY tu kita tak nampak. RSG, G yang hujung tu still performance yang sangat-sangat meyakinkan. And TODAK walaupun performance ni kurang baik, tapi kita semua kenal TODAK, eventually diorang akan comeback balik.
Yeah, I think, if TODAK doesn't perform well during the regular season, as long as they make it up and qualify for playoffs, they're always going to be a threat that everyone has to keep an eye out for.
Tapi cuba bayangkan kalau TODAK yang tak pergi playoff.
No.
I mean, like,
Jangan macam.
Kau tengok, ada tim CARACAL, ada Red, ada GEEK.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. I think a lot of...
Tak, cuba bayangkan je lah.
Bayangkan, jom kita bayangkan.
Tengok atas, bayangkan.
Aku tak boleh lah.
Tak boleh kot.
Tak boleh lah.
Takkan lah kan.
Dia jadi macam bila Lafel cakap macam tu, okay. Oh, jadi terfikir pula. Padahal kita tak terlintas benda tu. Tapi kita tak tahu kan. Todak mesti boleh comeback punya Lafel.
Yang Todak ke comeback. Mungkin audience pun sekarang macam seram je. Macam takkan lah. Pasal orang fikir sekejap.
Kita tengok pandang atas.
What if? Dia boleh pandang atas macam. Kita memang tak boleh bayangkan
No, tak boleh bayangkan. I think that all the fans would understand this. I think they're also used to it. Like, you know, it's the first week. It's not going to be that big of a deal. They'll eventually come back at it. And I also believe that, you know, they have the skill to actually make it through. So I'm not too worried about the first 3 weeks. Maybe week 4, week 5. If the performance still persists, then it's a little bit worrisome.
Dekat sini je, saya just nak tanya Gideon kan. Kalau bukan Todak yang bawa sekali, siapa bawa sekali?
Okay, Gideon?
Bawa sekali? I think in this particular situation, it's either between, I would arguably say, Team CARACAL.
Serious ah?
Or Todak.
Ada juga Todak. Ada juga Todak, itu cakap.
So you still boleh bayangkan lah.
Sikit lah. But you got to give 2 teams. One of them is going to be lower than the other.
Okay.
So Gideon dan Lafel mengatakan yang paling bawah.
Saya tak cakap. Saya suruh bayangkan.
Rasa. Oh, bayangkan. So mungkin Todak dan juga CARACAL tadi.
Yeah, possibly.
Awak memang sangat berani, Gideon. Awak memang sangat berani. Saya standby untuk tengok apa tim CARACAL nak cakap.
Baik, tadi kita dah tengok kita punya perlawanan tadi memang sungguh-sungguh crispy dan sekarang kita akan tengok untuk jadual perlawanan untuk esok. Untuk esok kita ada HOMEBOIS menentang SUHAZ Esports. Dan untuk match kedua, Orange Esports menentang MLBB. Red, yang match ketiga kita ada Red dan juga TODAK.
Ya, saya rasa esok punya match banyak match yang agak menarik. And saya sendiri tak tahu nak pilih mana satu sebab ramai orang nak tengok performance MLBB. Ramai orang nak tengok performance team HOMEBOIS. Red lawan dengan TODAK, ini peluang untuk TODAK comeback, tapi kalau TODAK kalah dengan Red juga dan kena bayangkan lagi kuat lah. Bayangkan lagi kuat.
Personally, I think the most interesting one will be Orange Esports versus MLBB because they are the two new, like relatively new teams coming in with a lot of new players as well. And I especially want to keep a close eye on MLBB.
Baik, jadual esok kita dah tahu macam mana. So sama-sama kita nantikan apakah kejutan yang akan berlaku esok. Tapi sebelum tu, saya nak pergi ke lucky draw ini.
Ya, sebab hari ni kita punya share milestone kita dah berjaya untuk hit
500 dah.
500 dah.
800 pun dah.
800 dah. Jadi berapa dalam 8 lucky winner kita akan dapat?
Right, so the winner-nya?
Okey.
Itu dia.
Awak host, awak baca.
Baik, untuk yang pertama, pemenang yang pertama kita ada Anca Mahendra. Yang kedua Aslina Sudirman. Yang ketiga dan Rap Rivera Amahan. Yang keempat Zaki Zal. Yang seterusnya Sarah Hilda Luyut. Yang seterusnya Fik Zorofik Stinggi Jason Chok.
Ini datangnya saya punya pengalaman. Dah cukup berapa kali datang ke show ni. Saya tengok, ada nama panjang. Awak host, awak yang baca.
Oh, sebab saya pertama kali saya tak tahu apa yang akan jadi. Okey, sebab saya dah macam gini tadi.
Baru first day dah kena bully.
Nampak. Tapi kita dah tahu macam mana lebih kurang. Tapi sebelum kita nak wrap up kita punya hari ni, saya nak tanya satu soalan yang mungkin tak ada kena-mengena, tapi nak tahu jugalah. Di antara bakat dengan chemistry, mana lagi lebih penting?
Gideon jawab dulu.
Bakat. Yeah, I think bakat is...
Kenapa bakat?
Because kalau ada yang... We're talking about the best players in the world, right? If somebody has a lot of chemistry, they work well together, yeah, it's a team game, that's great. But if none of them can perform because they don't have the talent, it really doesn't matter. Developing chemistry is doable. But developing talent, you just gotta have it.
Okay, level pula?
Setuju.
Itu yang kita nak dengar. Jadi kita punya hari pertama MPL Malaysia musim ke-9 sudah pun tamat. Jadi banyak lagi perlawanan yang sengit. Stay tune Sabtu dan Ahad. MPL Malaysia season ke-9 adalah dikuasai oleh Munton dan dipersembahkan oleh McDelivery bersama dengan sebagai telefon pintar rasmi kita dan raikan bersama dengan Nescafe. Jumpa lagi guys. Kejap.
I'm a rock star. Yeah, rock star. I'm a rock star, baby. I'm a rock star.
rockstar, kita buat saja gaya kita. Makin panas apinya sudah membara. Macam mana pun ku menempuh segala. Demi negara ku buat semua bangga. Step into my world, you know I'm always in my zone. You know I got my team, know I'm never alone. Bring out my best, buat yang terbaik. Jadi juara perlahan kita naik.
Get on my way, aku nak push, naik-naik jadi lebih bagus. Jadi hero, ku ada skill. Berapa banyak musuh aku dah kill. Ramai cuba mencabar, cause they envy me. Tiap game aku pasti jadi MVP. Easy.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar.
I'm a rockstar, baby, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, I'm a rockstar. I'm a rockstar, panggil aku rockstar. Ini kejohanan kita semua orang rockstar. Tengok nanti siapa yang juara. Ni peluang kita bawa pulang.